forget to like this video if you like it. Click subscribe, click notifications for future contents, and don't forget to share it with a friend. Don't forget to like this video if you like it. Click subscribe, click notifications for future contents, and don't forget to share it with a friend. Don't forget to like this video if you like it. Click subscribe, click notifications for future contents, and don't forget to share it with a friend.
Shalom, shalom. Greetings, everyone. Blessings, blessings. How's everyone doing this evening? Blessings, shalom to you all, to you and your families, to your households. This is Mike Allen here from Digging in the Word with a brand new Man Cave Monday episode. This is the second one, and I'm excited tonight. I got my family in the background and in the backstage, and we're going to bring them up. And so we can begin. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Blessings, blessings, blessings. How are we?
Yeah, shalom.
We're doing it again. Another Man Cave Monday. Blessings. How's everyone doing?
Blessings.
How was the weekend? How's everyone? Yahuel. Sister Deborah, call for wisdom. How are you guys doing? How was your weekend since Shabbat morning Bible day? We had a great time. I must say, I couldn't make it because he had a special happening going on that day. If he feels free, I know I'm putting him on the spot now, but if he feels free to share his wonderful eventful day, brother, by all means.
Oh man, the Most High just saw fit to bless me and Maisha, my wife Yabina, with 22 years.
22 years.
Married.
Yeah.
Under contractual covenant.
Covenant. Wife of your youth, right?
Wife of my youth.
There we go. Yes.
Married since 18. Married since 18.
Wow.
18. Wow. Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Still together happily.
Happily.
Wow. It's wonderful.
Happily. Oh man, that is what a blessing. What a blessing, man.
Yes.
What a blessing. Yeah. Oh man. So you guys had a great day that day. I know you did some things and
a nice restful day. It was the Shabbat.
Restful day. It was on Shabbat and a day for it to occur, right?
Right.
It would be on that day. Wow.
Hallelujah.
Oh, that's a blessing.
So,
it's a blessing.
I'm excited. Yeah,
I can imagine.
22 down, 22 more to go.
Absolutely, no problem. Easy.
Only 22 more.
Hey, light work. Hey, and when we get to that 22, it'll be 22 more.
That's right. Of course.
What a blessing. Well, congratulations and
thank you.
Happy anniversary. Right?
Hey.
Happy anniversary, you guys. Anniversary. Happy anniversary. Yes, what were you gonna say, sis?
I love you, Yabina.
Oh,
you know who you are.
Yes, congrats to Yabina. You're listening. Congratulations. Absolutely. Wonderful.
You were gonna say something, Sister Day?
I just excited because it's also the fact that brother Sister Yabina and brother Yoel are also polygynous, and we're these days it seems to be that's the case where a lot of women, when they discover that's when the marriage breaks. But instead of breaking and ending, you are a testimony of it continuing, and praise the Most High for his
a living testament. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Brother still got his shirt. He still live in his house. He still has his car. His accounts are still intact. He ain't trying to work off of less than half. Yes. They are.
She trimmed me up. I let her use a razor on my face.
Oh man! Wow! And he trusts her.
Absolutely.
Man,
absolutely.
What a blessing.
A wonderful example. Thank the Most High, and we pray for more for you.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Many more.
Many more.
Many, many
I
more.
mean, well, sister, call for wisdom.
Mm. Oh, I had a good week. Yeah, it's been good opening doors, making things happen. So yeah, I'm healthy. I'm here. Praise the Lord.
Healthy in your hair. What a blessing.
Mhm.
Blessing. Well, we're glad you're here, hanging out with the brothers in the man cave.
Honored to.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
That was blessed. Well, for myself, I had a great weekend. I had some good rest, something that I don't normally get to do
Mhm.
often. You know, we're doing Shabbat, then in between there and family, and it's not like being able to just sit back and just relax and just bum out, right? I got the opportunity to bum out, this past Shabbat.
That's wonderful. Do
I mean, it was
nothing.
wonderful. It was,
Yeah.
it was wonderful. And I literally fell asleep with the football game, like the football channel on, and I woke up and I purposely did not cut it off. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna stay. I'm just gonna do me
Mhm.
right now. I'm gonna do
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
It was great. It was great. It was a great feeling just to be able to just relax, and restore and reboot my strength, right? Reboot my strength, because
Mm.
first day came and I was back at work. It was all over again, right? So yeah, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful weekend. We had to go and do re-up on supplies, food shopping, and the baby, she's like the Incredible Hulk, like the clothes can't fit him anymore, so it's time for the new layer, right? New
Incredible Hulk. Is
Facts.
she
size,
bursting?
right? Yeah, the
Facts.
new size, yeah. And so so you just had a whole new wardrobe because just about everything just couldn't fit, so it was just that time, and
Mhm.
couldn't wait anymore. In fact, she got places to go, people to see this week, right? She has doctor's appointments and all of that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
she needs clothes, right? So we had to
Mhm.
go do that. So we did that last night.
Mhm.
Needless to say, I didn't get to bed. I didn't put my head on a pillow till about 11:40, right? After
Well,
work and then going to do all of that. Yeah. So um I could not make it to the gym this morning. I was supposed to go to the gym. It wasn't happening. The alarm woke me up. I hit the stop button. I didn't even hit the snooze button. I wasn't even gonna play myself. I hit the stop button.
yeah,
My
don't
man,
fake it.
my man said I was up. He was up, but I laid back down, thinking I could chill till the time came around. But I did. He did just a little too long.
A
Because when
little
I
too
woke
low.
up, the bus was crisscross
Oh, that's part of a song, really? When you go,
from like the 80s, 90s.
Yeah, the 90s, yeah.
oh, wow, that's
It
kind
was
of
some
Old
little
school rap.
kids. It was back then. It was little kids.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. No,
brother, would you like
I
brother?
wasn't even gonna go try to catch that bus. I wasn't even gonna
My man
try
said,
it.
"I missed the gym. I missed the gym."
The gym.
Brother Yoel, would you like to read the names of the people in the audience here for us? That you're better at
Oh,
reading it. Yes.
Oh man. Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Hey,
I see they fell off. They're falling in.
Mhm.
shalom, brother Sheldon Williams.
Sheldon, shalom, brother. Blessings. Good to see you. Aruk
Shalom,
Yahamet. Yes.
Aruka Yamet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amen. Yes,
Amen.
blessings to you,
Shalom
sister.
to my
Miss
children.
Mahaba. The family.
Your children, yes, it's
The
wonderful.
family.
You pronounce that. How do you pronounce that handle?
Miss
Oh, it says
Paya.
Mishpachah Bet Yahuel. So the family of the house of Yahuel.
That's how you pronounce. Okay, nice.
Mishpachah's family. Beit is
Okay.
house.
House.
Yahuel. There's me.
Yes.
Arroz con pop chips. That's
Yeah.
Manilo. What's up, brother? Blessings to you.
Brother, blessings, and we have brother Willie.
Shalom, brother Sheldon.
And then my cutie, Yabina is in the chat. And then me, of course. I got my handle changed.
Yeah,
so.
I see that.
You got
I see
change.
that.
So you were
Thank
able to
you for
fix
that.
it.
Yeah,
You were
Hey,
able to fix it.
sister.
Oh no, you found a video. You found a video.
No, I figured it out on my own.
Oh, you figured out. Okay, good. Hopefully it remains the same next week.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
You try to come back in, right? Yeah. All right, great. All right,
Wonderful.
so
Welcome everybody.
yes, welcome everyone. Blessings.
And
We
everybody that's on Call for Wisdom's channel that I don't see because I'm on his channel. Shalom to
No.
all of you.
yes, shalom.
Yes.
And shalom, brother Warsheep. If you happen to be in, I did not. I got your email. I'm gonna get to you, man. I'm so it's
And he did me the same way, so don't feel
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. I will get to you, man. Don't feel no way, brother. I will get to you, man. I will get to you, man. It's a story of my life. I can say when I get home, I'm gonna do A, B, C, and D. And I never
Listen,
I
you're sending sweet
she's only
loves here.
reflections of you love. Oh, here they go. They're gonna
Here they
continue
go.
on. Here they go. All this smoochy, all smoochy. Oh, but it's all good, man. It's all good. Blessings. We need to see more of that, right?
Hallelujah.
Some more of that in the kingdom. We need to see more of that in the kingdom. I mean, yeah. So,
That don't make me a simp.
Well, we will find out.
Can you guys just talk about? Oh well, Sister D, could you talk about this past Shabbat morning Bible dig?
Well,
I need to add something to the banners.
Go ahead, do that, and I will
Yeah.
remind us that we actually had episode 7 of
The Fast and Furious.
the Fast how Yeshua, Torah, and polygyny are evangelizing the world. Now we finally, brother, hit polygyny. We just hit the tip of it, right? Just the beginning of it.
Hit the tip of it, but just before we got into it, we ended off talking about the Torah and the Yeshua part with something else. You remember?
We went to Genesis and we started talking about the original. But first before that, Paul.
We talked about particularly the New Testament writers, right? The apostles, how they continued walking in Torah, right?
Yeah.
So there's this idea, this false notion that this New Testament ushered in a whole new way that was never known to those of Israel. And so once they became followers of the way, right? They abandoned all of their Judaism. They abandoned all of their Hebraic traditions and customs, and they there was no more need for them to follow Torah anymore, and so forth and not. So we dealt with that. We actually went through a list of passages that just proves that Paul and Peter kept Torah, right? So yeah, that's what we did. Yeah, kept Torah. Yeah, and then we went into the mighty polygyny.
Yeah.
We finally got in there. We finally got into the gate.
So
we entered into the kingdom.
Now continuing. So not
you said just the
You said just the what?
You said just the tip.
The tip. Just the tip. Nah, I don't know. We might be able to finish it off by the next stream. We just might. Yo, it'd be deep conversation. What could I say? It's not all on me. I'm not the only one that be talking, right? I'm not the only one that be talking. Don't blame it on me. I just be there.
I'm going to give some credit to Brother Yawel who prescribed the link to Brother Michael, and he shared it with me, and that was for a couple, Torah observant couple.
Oh yes. And I can't remember the brother's name of the podcast. Do you know the name of the podcast?
I'm gonna just pull it up really quick.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Israel
screen. Yeah,
the Israelite indeed.
Yes. Yeah, share it on the screen. Please.
Oh man, that was a great interview.
Yeah.
Yes.
Conversation.
Yeah, share it on the screen.
Real quickly. So I got blessed by it, brother. Thank you for sharing it. Because there are some profound words that were said in it that stuck.
Man.
And I think that's I think we might actually do the next Matriarchy Monday based on that. So let me just see if I can share this one on the screen here. One of the questions, one of the statements that she made, or he made, the brother made, was a lot of women want to be wives, but they don't know how
They
to
don't even know how to be daughters.
Yeah, that was profound, right? Yeah, that was profound.
that was
Yes,
amazing.
that
So
was
simple,
that was
but
that was
so
profound. That was
yeah,
profound.
If you
yeah.
can't be a daughter to the Father that you have seen,
Mm-hmm.
how can you be a daughter to your Heavenly Father whom you haven't seen?
Interesting.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mm. Mic drop. Yeah,
So that
mic drop.
there, I think we
Mic
might
drop.
make an episode out of that. We're discussing that today, right, Brother Michael?
Yes,
That
yes.
topic. Let me
Yes,
just
yeah,
quickly.
Yeah,
definitely.
you could break up the stuff they were saying in like little mini chapters.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's 20 years in the truth. Elder Moses, can you pronounce his name properly without slaughtering
Yes.
it?
No, he said Elder Moses. That's how he
Elder Moses.
Yeah,
referred to
Moses.
himself.
Yeah, Zimri Yah. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the last name, right? Zimri Yah, right? The family name.
Mm-hmm.
The family name. And his wife's name is Emma, right?
Yes, and they had a great
No,
discussion.
Ima means mother. Ima
Mother,
Mother.
means
mother.
mother.
Oh, just mother.
Yeah.
Okay.
So elder and mother. Elder and mother Moses.
So
Moshe.
Zimri Yah is her name.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible that is her name.
Family is possible. Okay.
That is her name. She announced it like that. So
Yeah.
the Israel
But she
indeed.
referred to herself as Mrs. Moses
Yes.
Okay.
because he had just said that I'm Zakane or Elder Moses, and then she said I'm Mrs. Moses. She forsook what her name was and just attached herself to him.
Right.
Bars.
Salah. Yeah.
Salah.
Salah. Yeah. They were on fire, man.
So they talk about how they met, about their marriage, gave some really good tips about this whole relationship and setup and why he chose her, and it was quite amazing. Really good.
It was amazing.
So I will leave the link for that. We'll try to leave for that.
Remember, she didn't know that there was going to be a banner there that said her name. So far in this interview, as far as you knew, she was like, all you need to know about my name is that I'm attached to him.
Yes. Oh my, she said that. Like, yes, sister. It was.
She didn't need to tell you her name.
Yeah.
She was, I'm with him. Like,
so graceful. Can you send in the private chat your email address again? What time to contact you, please?
Okay.
So, Brother Michael and I were discussing about a topic, I think, for next week, matriarchy.
Yeah, matriarchy.
It again, but remember we came up with how a daughter's training prepares for a wife, right?
Yeah. So right now we're doing announcements. Right now we're doing announcements.
Well, we'll do it again. I'm just because we didn't.
we do it again, right?
We didn't discuss it off to confirm that. But are you okay with that, Brother Michael?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because it'll definitely be a good topic for us to delve into.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for him to put his email address up.
It's okay.
Right. I see the private in there. Okay, good. Copy.
I'm just going to say hello to Brother Orion CT. Blessings. Hello to you. And there's the sisters Cecilia 0220. Welcome.
Are those on your page?
No, they're just.
Yeah, these are comments. Comments from the comments.
Yeah, from the comment section. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother, they come all together on my side. I see everybody's comment at once.
Oh,
you can't see all of them, but I can see all of them.
Yeah. I'm not. I lack that specialness. It's okay though. It's okay though.
All right.
It's coming.
So what we want to do here at this point is we want to welcome everyone once again to Man Cave Mondays with Mike Allen and friends. And this is, of course, I'm Mike Allen, and this is my family here on the panel with me. And we're about to dig into another one tonight. Looking forward to this one tonight. Looking forward. Listen, I'm always looking forward to every live stream because first and foremost, we never know what the Ruach is going to reveal, right? You know, Yeshua told us that, you know, whenever there's 2 or 3 and we're gathered in his name, right? He's there in the midst. And so, you know, there's his presence, there's his power, right? There's his leading, right? And we never know how this thing is gonna, you know, all that's gonna come out of it. You know, we just got to show up. Yeah, we come with a program. Yeah, we come with an outline. Yeah, we come with maybe some clips or what have you here or there. But at the end of the day, we allow him to lead.
Yes.
And that's what we're gonna do tonight. So brother Yahuwah, will you be so kind to open us up with a word of prayer? Be so gracious.
Absolutely. Abiyah, we come before you right now, as humble as we understand, and we ask that in this very hour, that you be lifted up in our conversation, in our discourse, for the edification of those that are called by your name. We ask right now that as we engage in this conversation, that your essence of Rapha, or your essence of healing, go about your people and heal your people, and any infirmity that they may have, whatever need that it may be. We know that right now there's a government shutdown still in effect in the United States, and we ask that you provide the provisions for those that are called by your name, to use this moment, this opportunity to show them that they are set apart for you, just like how you provided for our forefathers in Egypt, in Mitzrayim, when you brought plagues upon Pharaoh, you still provided for yours. We ask that you do the same in this wise. Not just those that are affected by the government shutdown, but those that are affected by the hurricane that has swept through. We ask that your hand rest upon them, that you lead and guide them to truth and safety and provision. May the world be astounded by how you move in such a way to provide for your people. We ask, Abiyah, also that your hand rest upon all those that are carrying children or desire to, all those that are wives or desire to be, all the men who desire wives or are husbands, that you prepare them and mold them for the role that you have called them to, so that we can reproduce righteousness in the earth. We ask all these things in Hashem Yehoshua, in the name of your Son. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Amen. 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 Wow. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yes, amen. So
Just make sure that my phone is on. Okay, good.
Mhm.
You were gonna say, sis? Yeah, go ahead.
we got one more person coming here. Hello, brother. Fellowship
Follow
of
them
the
with time.
Messiah. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So you got it ready?
We got it ready. So tonight's topic, we are going to be digging into this particular topic here. You know, though many of you that are in this space, be it Torah observant, be it patriarchy, we're and if you know anything about social media, YouTube, right, Instagram, TikTok, you know, we're all familiar with the Manosphere, right? We're all familiar with the late Kevin Samuels, right, or Andrew Tate, or what have you, and so with that being said, a lot of the concepts, although come off very masculine, are not always biblical, right? And so what we want to do is we want in this particular episode tonight, which we're going to touch on tonight, what we want to do is we want to arrive at, you know, Yah's perspective of a lot of these terms that are thrown out there, right? but really just two terms in particular, maybe one more so than the other, right? Because the other one you don't really hear because it's more of a biblical term, more of an archaic term, right? A term of yesteryears is not a term that's often used today. More so today, you would get the term like masculine or manhood or what have you, or what's the other one? What's it called?
Masculinity.
A masculinity, but what's the one? The A, what do they call it? Alpha male, right? The alpha
that
male,
A-type,
right?
that A-type
Beta male,
personality.
right? Exactly. And those are terms that are thrown out there, right? But we want to deal with some terms that are actually biblical, right? They're somewhat opposites, right, of each other, and you can say in a certain way. Definitely, as we dig into the meanings and we dig further into this discussions, we're going to basically see how they kind of contradict each other, right? For that matter, right? And so tonight's topic is on the simple topic of what's the biblical difference between a patriarch and a simp. We've heard that term simp. I know we've heard the term patriarch, right? But a lot of Bible readers are really not familiar with the fact that the term simp is actually in the Bible, right?
Yep.
It's a biblical term, right? And not only is it a bit of biblical term, but its usage of the term, right, of the root word of the term, right, is used in other usage or other senses, and not in what we would call a simp, right? Because a simp is more like a modern, I would say, shorter way of use of the term itself. And so when we get into the scriptures, we're going to see a what do you call the fuller word. I'm just trying to find ways of saying this, right? But I wish I could pull up that clip that we pulled up, but I don't have the clips marked. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch the clips. Matter of fact, let's start off with the clips.
Do the Billy Graham one.
Billy Graham. I don't have the clips.
Billy Graham, it's okay.
Queued.
I have the clips queued, but I don't know which ones they are. So let's just see. Okay, I will see which one.
All right, yeah, if you could pull them up, sister.
I will do that. Okay. Whoops.
Yeah, let's do that.
You got to remove what you got first, Brother Michael. Can you remove?
Okay.
That?
Yeah, right. Because I had. There we go. It's all free.
Okay. So you said Billy Graham. Man, let's see. Is it with some young people hanging out here?
Nah, Billy Graham is an older white guy.
Yeah, I probably don't have that one on there. If I'm sorry. Let me just make sure. If not, I may have to pull it up.
Is it that one?
No. That's a good one right there. That one right there, it moved me.
Okay, I don't have.
I'm gonna bring in the Billy Graham one
because that's a great one to launch from.
Yeah, hold on a second.
And by the way, I never knew. I just learned the term simp like last year or 2 years ago. One, I learned it from Kevin Samuels. That term.
We're gonna learn today. All right.
Okay.
Up in a book of synonyms. What is a fool? And here's some of the things that it says.
Yep, that one.
Not that one. Not that one. Hold on a second.
That one. No, that one. Yeah.
No, that was no, that was your drill. That was your drill.
Oh.
Yeah. It started off with Billy Graham, but then it went to your drill. Hold on, let me.
Oh, then maybe you should just scroll back. Okay.
Yeah, no, we'll get there. We'll get there. I have to do something. Here we go. Share. And now we're going to we're gonna get there. We're going to get there. Oh, you know what? I can do it this way.
Oh man, you didn't tell Call for Wisdom that we was wearing gray.
Yeah, right. Oh, you noticed that?
I just noticed that. I'm like,
You just
hey,
noticed
we're
that?
both wearing gray.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I was actually going to. It's on my side there. I was actually going to put a gray sweater on, but it's too hot in here. So
All right, so I'm gonna share it for now. This one, and then you can do the other ones. All right. So this is the one that he's talking about. Let me do it from the beginning.
okay.
Oh, we can't hear it.
Can't hear it at all.
Nope,
You got to
no
put the
sound.
volume off. Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Hmm.
Hold on a second. I have to go back to the share because something is. All right, so it's telling me to share. Okay, here we go. All right. There we go. Yes. All right, let's try this.
Listen to this.
You can hear it now?
Now you asked the question tonight, what is a fool? Look it up in your dictionary. I looked it up in a book of synonyms. What is a fool? And here are some of the things that it says. A stupid person, a bonehead, a blockhead, a simpleton, a chump, a nitwit, a nincompoop, a dullard, an oaf, a goose, a saphead, silly willy, numbskull, ignoramus, beetlehead. Those were just some of the synonyms of what a fool is. But there's another definition that I found in the dictionary that says that a fool is a person deficient in judgment, an idiot, a moron, an imbecile, a half-wit, and a defective. And then there's a third definition in your dictionary that says, under the meaning of fool, one who is a professional jester or a clown is many times called a fool, in another meaning of the word. Then there's a fourth meaning in the dictionary, one who has been imposed on by others like a stooge or a person that's a very gullible person. We sometimes call him a fool. Now, in the Bible, it may mean all of this as it's used in its context because the word fool is used many times. But it's also a moral form.
Listen to this.
That's a good. Wow.
Wow. All right, good. All right, so you want to all right, so I just got out of the what's the name? You want to cue the other one, Sister D, please?
Yeah. But
All
I
right.
just put this little joke here.
He said I went to a Billy Graham. We should show no. I was talking about you today, brother. He said, I went to a Billy Graham. You see,
No,
I went to
uh-huh.
a Billy Graham revival in 2004. Saw my high school crush there. I should have taken her and made her mine. Yeah, you should have, man. You should have, man.
Okay, so should I show this one first, brother Yellow? Which one should I show first? Is that good?
There's one that
go,
is
go back to the go to the bottom of the list and then come up
To the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the Proverbs 27:12 one. You want me to show that first?
I don't. All I know is I just put the link.
Yeah,
so just copy the link.
that's fine. The Proverbs one.
Yeah. So just go from the bottom in order and then work your way up. So not that
Okay.
one. I think.
Yeah. I got it. One sec. You guys are ridiculous. Like live stream is so cool. Like there's no mistakes here, you know. Okay, let's see. How about this one?
A prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. A prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences.
So you think
A
it's
simpleton?
Yes. Yes. A simpleton. So simpleton is actually the fuller how would you say use of the word of I don't know, how do you say it? Yeah,
It's the full word. It's the completed word.
Completed word. Simp is the shorter form. You know what we can do? Let's pull her up in a dictionary. Let's do that.
Yeah, I sent one of the clips is a dictionary clip.
Is this dictionary clip? Okay,
One of them.
I don't know if I chose that one. I don't know if I
Okay.
chose. I didn't have time to put
It's
them all
not in
down.
the list. No, it's not
Right,
in the list.
right. Which would bring us to this question. Well, what is a simp? Right.
Well, I have.
Right.
Why don't we read some of the definitions that the audience gave you, because they were.
Okay, sure. But yeah. Let's do
for
that.
you.
Let's do this. And what is a simp in biblical terms? Come
Yes.
on, audience. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what we have here already, because somebody asked that.
And I'm
already,
gonna
what it
while
is.
that I'm gonna cue the a biblical
And
definition.
if somebody's new here, of course you are allowed to. He said, "Are you allowed to ask questions through this?" As long as
Sure.
it's on topic.
Yeah, just stay on code. Just stay on the topic for sure.
And then we have. He doesn't know what a simp is. Okay. We're gonna learn today. Yep, you are. So, can you read that, Brother Yoel?
Absolutely. It says the term simp is not in the Bible, as it is a modern internet slang term for someone who is excessively subservient to another person, usually for romantic or sexual reasons. However, biblical pasa.
Yeah, I think his comment got cut off. That's what it was. He ran out of characters. Here you go. It continues.
It says pasa es
biblical passages warn.
passages.
Warn against
warn against behaviors that could be considered similar, such as Proverbs 19:25, which speaks of quote unquote the simple becoming weary after being rebuked, or 2 Timothy 3:6, which describe men who warn their.
I guess he's done the conversation there. Oh, okay. We can read that a little bit later. I'll try to keep that 2 Timothy 3:6, and we will read that one. Okay. So this brother says a simp is essentially a eunuch. Is that
a eunuch? A eunuch?
Really?
Wow. Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
reference on it, but a eunuch, again, a eunuch could be someone like Shaul, Rav Shaul, Paul. Paul was, you can say, a eunuch for the faith, right? Because he didn't really have a wife, right? Yeshua was a eunuch, right? I don't know if you would call them a simp, right? In that regard. I would like to see some references to why would you even say that. Yeah. Manolo says, I'm going to start calling dumb people Nobelites.
Nabalites. Nabalites.
Yo, Manolo is a nut, man. He said, I should have, brother. I have not seen her in 10 years. And then all of a sudden, man. Yeah. Well, listen, man, there's a thing called Facebook, bro. A simpleton is the full word, right? Simp is a shortened form. It's the slang form. It's a slang form. Exactly. Okay. Let me pull up some dictionary. Okay, here we go. All right. So first, right off the back, right? Wikipedia says simp is an internet slang term describing someone who exhibits excessive sympathy and attention towards another person, typically to someone who does not reciprocate the same feelings in pursuit of affection or sexual relationship. Right. And this one is Oxford. Oxford is a silly or foolish person. A person, in particular, a man who is excessively attentive or submissive to someone in whom they are romantically or sexually interested in.
I see.
Now that's the noun, but it's also in the verb, right? So a verb would be simping, right? He's simping, right? Which is to be excessively attentive and submissive to a person, right? So it can be used
a verb would be simping, right?
Right.
He's simping, right? Which is to be excessively attentive and submissive to a person, right? So
you doing
it can be used a verb would be simping, right?
You have how many?
Which
You
is
have
to
more than
be
one browser?
sensitive, submissive to.
There we go.
Yeah, have to cut the other browser off. Yeah, there you go.
But the brother here trying to explain what he meant by eunuch.
Yeah, please.
He says what I meant is by it was they are rid of their masculinity by a woman, castrated not physically but on the inside.
On the inside,
Emasculated, I guess.
right? But some men can be. Yeah, I mean,
I can give you an example. Like when the Hebrews went into Babylonian captivity, they made some of the men eunuchs that were in high positions.
Right.
So, for example, a high position would be like the position that Daniel, or Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, formerly known as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, but their Hebrews names were Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, or Azariahu. Their type of position would put them in a position where they may have had to become a eunuch. But it wasn't necessarily because of a woman. But I think I'm understanding what they're meaning. What they're saying is they're being rid of their desire for a woman. I think that's what's being implied in the way that
in the comment, and they talking about the terms of the comment.
In terms of the comment.
Let's pull that banner back up so we see what he says.
Well, initially he said it was a eunuch, so he was just explaining that what he meant better. Let's pull
right. I mean, because if you go by first of all, if you go by the dictionary of the modern day slang, it's really somebody that's gullible and foolish, right? They're gullible, they're foolish. They are excessively how would you say, desiring of another person or following another person, and it's not reciprocated, right?
Like a stalker.
He said, like a stalker. He said, what I meant by it is they are rid of their masculinity by a woman castrated, not physically, but on the inside.
Right.
Okay, in that sense, yeah. They're rid of their masculinity, but not necessarily yeah, in that sense, you could say because there's another passage that actually is explaining what you're saying, right? And like for instance, let me pull this up. This is in
a Christian man. This is terrible.
A Christian man, yeah, Christian man would be yeah, sure enough is a nut. All right. This is Galatians 5, right? Galatians 5 is kind of like alluding to what this brother is talking about here. What's the brother's name, by the way? I just want to make sure I'll get his name.
The handle, fellow.
Something about Messiah.
Follow the Messiah. Follow the Messiah. Okay, so according to follow the Messiah, a good example of what follow the Messiah is talking about here, in terms of what a simp is, would be here in Galatians 5, right? Could you read it from the first verse?
Yes, it says, "It was for freedom that Mashiach set us free. Therefore, stand firm and do not be subject again to the yoke of slavery."
Right. So the slavery that he's talking. Oh, stop right there. The slavery that he's talking about is the enslaved bondage of sin, right? And the enslaved bondage to being cursed, due to the elements of the world. Like even in Torah, there's a curse attached to it, right? And so we were all in bondage to that. We were all in bondage to the curse, to the elementary principles, right? We were all in bondage, whether if you were Hebrew or you were Gentile, we were all in bondage to it being in sin, right? And so what we have been translated into is a realm of freedom. He says it was for freedom that Messiah set us free. Therefore, stand firm and do not be subject again to a yoke of slavery. Right. So he's talking to Gentiles. This is Rav Shaul talking to Gentiles. So he's basically saying So he said, I was a slave to this and you were a slave to this, is his implication. So in this sense, we were both simps. You understand, to the bondage of sin, right? We were Right. And so now let's go further. To
Behold, I shall say to you that if you receive circumcision, Christ will be of no benefit to you.
Go
And I
ahead. Continue.
testify again to every man who receives circumcision that he is under obligation to keep the whole law.
Continue.
You have been severed from Christ, you who are being justified by law. You have fallen from grace.
Right. So they were already set free by Messiah. Now Judaizers came in amongst their flock, amongst the congregation, and seduced them into thinking that, hey, you don't really have a relationship with the Most High through the Messiah if you haven't been circumcised. So they seduced these followers of Yeshua to feel that the need that they needed to be circumcised in order to truly be in, when they were already in. Right. So the point that the Rav Shaul is making is that really you've been put back into bondage, because if you're gonna use circumcision to be the thing that justifies you, you gotta realize that you gotta keep the whole law. And we're all here now through Messiah, in Messiah, right? Because we couldn't keep the whole law. You understand? In and of itself, like in and of ourselves, we couldn't do it. We needed him. We needed the power to be able to keep the law. And so that's what the law proved to us, that without him, we don't have the power to keep it.
Okay.
And so now you want to go back to apart from him, because really by doing this, you're saying that he's not enough. There's something that you need to do in order for you to be truly justified, is the point that Shaul is making. All right, go ahead. So he says, you have been severed from Messiah, you who are being justified by law, you have fallen from grace. Verse 5.
For we, through the Ruach, by faith, are eagerly waiting for the hope of righteousness.
For the hope of righteousness. Go ahead.
For if in Mashiach, Yahushua, neither circumcision nor uncircumcision means anything but faith working through love.
That's the thing that gets you in. It's the faith, right? So 7.
You were running well. Who hindered you from obeying the truth?
So you were on the right track. Now you've been hindered from the right track, right? By this false concept of justification through circumcision, right? Verse 8.
It says, this persuasion is not from him who calls you.
Go ahead.
A little leaven leavens the whole lump. I have confidence in you, in Adon, that you will adopt no other view, but the one who is disturbing you will bear his judgment, whoever he is.
Whoever he is. Go ahead.
But I, Akim, or brothers, if I shall still preach circumcision, why am I still persuaded or persecuted? Excuse me. Then the stumbling block of the cross would have been abolished.
Okay, so this is the verse that I want to get to right here, 12.
I wish that those who are upsetting you would even mutilate themselves.
Cut themselves off, castrate themselves. This is what the brother is talking about. Men who allow themselves to be gullible to this degree castrate themselves to women. Just as these believers here in Galatia, who was already running well in the race, right, allowed themselves to be deceived from obeying the truth, right, castrated themselves, who decided, well, I'm going to go get circumcised as these brothers came. There you go. Exactly. Right. So yeah, that if you mean it in that sense, yes, I agree with you.
And he added another comment here. He just added here.
For example, when a woman condemns a man about wanting polygyny, she will essentially make him feel like his masculine need is sinful, with no law or scripture to back the claim, trying to control him. Exactly. It's a seduction it is a swaying away from that which is true, because of the few verses earlier, he says you were running well when you found out that polygyny was biblical. You were running well, right? He said, thank you. Shalom, brother. Blessings. He said, you were running well when you learned about polygyny, right? When you read about David, when you read about Abraham, when you read Exodus 21, right? You were running well till you went and talked to your woman and she hindered you from acknowledging the truth, right? Or being persuaded by the truth. She hindered you from being persuaded by the truth. Right? And so what did you do? What did you do as the result of it? Going down to verse 12? You allowed yourself internally to be mutilated.
That's a
You
good
was
one.
castrated. You were castrated. We did a live stream on this. You were castrated, right? You were castrated by this. And that's the result. So anytime when you allow biblical truth, yourself to be convinced, yourself to be intimidated to the point where you abandon the truth, right? Through something that you know is not true, you know what the word is not saying, right? You're being like when I mean, I think it could be stated that Eve was she was deceived, right? But Adam was emasculated. How do we know that Adam was emasculated? How do we know that Adam was simped? There is one phrase, there's one statement that Yah made that lets us know that Adam was simped. Come on, somebody. I know somebody in the chat. How do we know that Adam simped?
How do you know that Adam simped? Let's see.
Anybody? Ak, you got an idea?
It was the woman you gave me.
The woman you gave me. When y'all said to him, he said, it was the woman you gave me. But what confirmed that he was simped, y'all said, because you listened to the voice of the woman.
You went and listened. You obeyed her. Yeah, you listened to her.
See, it is Yah who made us men, not the woman. And so when we, how would you say, allow ourselves to be persuaded from being men in the way he created us to be, then we allowing ourselves to be simped. It could be the woman, it could be the culture, it could be a car, it could be whatever it is. Simps equal happy wife, happy life. Yes. yes, Sheldon. Yes.
I would even go further to say, if you got to tell your wife that you need polygyny, you might be simping. You might be, because it's not a need, and it's a desire. So the need ain't for you. The need would be in covering another woman.
Yes. Yes.
Honestly, the benefit is to her.
Right.
Because when she comes into under your covering, there's no guarantee that she's going to be able to reproduce with you.
Right.
And so regardless whether she's able to reproduce with you or for you or not, you still got to cover her. So
you still got to cover her. Right.
The benefit for polygyny is it benefits the woman more than the man. Like, the man is able to extend his progeny, but it's about covering those that are unable to be covered on their. I mean, a woman can't cover herself.
What if the current wife that he has is no longer of a childbearing ability, right?
And he wants to continue. Right.
He wants to go. Right. So would that fall under, his need would be to fulfill Yah's charge to be fruitful and to multiply?
I can see that argument.
We see the argument, right?
I can see the argument.
Yeah. You know what it is that we're so accustomed to just having one woman. we're so accustomed to you just have a wife and then you have a few children and that's it. But when you consider the patriarchs, you're like a Gideon, right? We talked about him earlier, right? When you consider like these men had children, right? The
Lots of
average
children.
the average Israelite man that came out of the Exodus, based on the statistics of the book of Numbers, had about 54 children. Based on the statistics, right? If you do the calculations and you do the math, they had at least 27 sons, right? Coming out of the Exodus, that first generation, right? Because you're talking about also the generation that were anywhere between, say, 40 and up, right? Who were in that same bracket as Moshe, as Moses, right? Where the males were cut off.
Gideon had 70 sons.
Wow.
70 sons.
Just
how do you have
just
70 sons with one woman?
Never.
Like, how is that even possible?
You
better
have them in sets of twins and triplets.
Exactly.
But the interesting, you were saying again, and this brother asked, I think the Genesis, what scripture that was? What scripture was that in Genesis?
For what? Which one?
But if you hearken to my voice,
that's Genesis 3. I'm gonna turn to it. Genesis 3.
And
this is when Yah was pronouncing the judgment to their sins. And he says here, he says to Adam in verse 17. Can you read that, please?
Yes, it says 3:17. Then to Adam he said, because you have listened to the voice of your wife and have eaten from the tree about which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat from it. Cursed is the ground because of you. In pain you will eat of it all the days of your life.
So the reason why Yah said this, he says, because he violated his command that says you shall not eat from it. He listened to the voice of his wife over the command that Yah gave him. So he's simped. Right. Wow. So let's think about it. The first man simped. And that's what brought the world into sin. But yes, sir.
Wasn't part of the command to multiply as well? So
yeah, that's what I said earlier.
So this question here is this brother has a question here. What if a woman refuses to have a baby?
You can have another woman. It's simple, right? Right, but yeah, that's gonna take us deeper into this topic. But let's go to the next question. Let me see where we at.
Yeah, we're already going past this. Yeah,
we're going. Yeah, we fired up. We fired up here. So we said, what is a simp, right? Okay, so here's the next one. What is the definition? Right, come on, guys. What is the definition of a patriarch according to Scripture? Because we got to define this. So, I think we got a clear consensus of what a simp is, right? So what is a patriarch according to Scripture?
What do you all think in the comments? What's a patriarch?
Doom, 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 doom. In Jeopardy, right? So while you pulling up, and I'm gonna pull up the answers. I'm gonna give us the answer that I had previously for a simp, right? Okay, a man who abides by the commands of the Most High. Yeah, that the very first sin lets us know that. The very first, a man who runs his household according to the laws of Yah. Yes, I would go with that. Right. Okay. Good. So the answer to a simp is a man who abandons divine wisdom to please or preserve the favor of a rebellious woman. Right? That would be in Proverbs, right? Proverbs 7. And we're going to start at verse 7. Okay. Let me pull the screen back up, because Sister D asked me to pull the screen up. All right, so here we go. And I saw amongst the simple, right? So remember we said that word simp is a shorter variation of the word simpleton, right? And I saw among the simple and discerned among the sons of young men a young man lacking a heart of wisdom. So the answer is a simp is a man who abandons divine wisdom to please or preserve the favor of a rebellious woman. Now, let's see this in this passage. Passing through the street near her corner, and he strides along the way to her house in the twilight, in the evening of that day, right? In the middle of the night and in the thick darkness, and behold, the woman comes to meet him dressed as a harlot and cunning of heart. She is boisterous and rebellious. Think of that word rebellious, a rebellious woman. Her feet do not dwell at home, stepping in the streets, stepping in the squares, and near every corner she lies and wait. So she seizes him and kisses him, and with a brazen face she says to him, the sacrifice of peace offerings are with me. Today I paid my vows. Therefore I have come out to meet you, to seek your face earnestly. Now, notice that she's a good church woman, right? And she's a good church woman. She's a good church woman too, right? Therefore, I have come out to you. I paid my tithes, right? I have come out to you to meet you, to seek your face earnestly, and I have found you. I just only came out for you, only for you, boo. Right? I'm looking like this. I'm looking like all of this. I just came out for you, right? I have spread my couch with coverings, with colored linens of Egypt, right? I have sprinkled my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come then, let us drink our fill as lovers until morning. Let us delight ourselves in the pleasures of love. For my husband is not at home. He has gone on a journey far away. So I mean, he ain't coming home no time soon. We can make it through the night. He took a bag of silver in his hand on the day of the full moon. He will come home. With her abundant persuasions, she entices him. Notice she enticed the simple. She enticed the simp with her flattering lips. She drives him to herself. She is the driver, right? He suddenly follows her as an ox to the slaughter, or as one in fetters. You know, he's chained up to the discipline of an ignorant fool until an arrow pierces through his liver as a bird hastens to snare. All right, we can stop right there. So that's that passage. And then the other one that I have is 120. 120. So Proverbs 120 to 22, right? It says, okay, here we go. Wisdom shouts in the streets. She gives forth her voice in the square. At the head of, remember, this is Yah's divine wisdom, right? A simp is a man who abandons Yah's divine wisdom, right? At the head of the noisy street, she calls out. At the entrance of the gates in the city, she utters her sayings. How long, O simple ones, will you love simplicity? And scoffers delight in scoffing, and fools hate knowledge. So that is the definition of a simp, is that a simp is the one that loves simplicity. A simp is the one that scoffs and delight in scoffing, and they hate knowledge, right? One who fails in wisdom due to willful sin. And that's exactly what Adam was. Like he heard the command said, in the day you eat of it, you will die. But he willfully just chose to eat of the tree, right? Because he hearkened to the voice of his woman over Yah's command, right? Okay. And as for Patriarch, The answer is a man chosen to lead, cover, and command his household in righteousness under Yah's authority. So the first scripture that we have in that's Hebrews, right? Hebrews 7:4. Could you help me out? Could you read from verse 4? We're gonna read 4 to verse 8.
Absolutely. All right, let's see. All right, Hebrews 7, starting at verse 4. It says, "Now observe how great this man was, to whom Abraham, the patriarch, gave a tenth of the spoils."
All right, so this passage is letting us know that Abraham is the patriarch, right? The patriarch. So let's look in the Greek and see what the patriarch means, right? Let's dig. Y'all want to dig? Let's dig, baby. All right, patriarch, the patriarch. Here we go.
Strong's G 3966. Patriarches.
Right. So a patriarch is a Hellenistic word, right? It's not a Hebraic word. It's a Hellenistic word, right? So it's a Greek word, right? And a patriarch is a founder of a tribe, a progenitor used of David. It's also used of the 12 sons of Jacob, right? In Acts 7:8, right? And of course, Abraham, right? Who they all descend from. And of the same as Isaac and of Jacob. In the according to the 4 Maccabees 7:19 and 16:25. Right. Okay, so
that's my book. The Maccabees, them be my books.
All right, so we're going down to verse 8. So we up to verse 5.
It says, and those indeed of the sons of Levi, who
patriarch,
who receives the priest office, have a commandment in the law to collect a tenth from the people, that is, from their brothers, although these are descended from Abraham. But the one whose genealogy is not traced from them had collected a tenth from Abraham and blessed the one who had the promises. But without any dispute, the lesser is blessed by the greater. And in this case, mortal men receive tithes. But in that case, one receives them of whom it is witnessed that he lives on.
Right. And so to speak through Abraham, even Levi, who received tithes, paid tithes. So I don't know why I continued on further there, but the point here pretty much is that Abraham is the patriarch, right? And definitely the sons that became tribes, right, were patriarchs in their own rights as well, right? But that's pretty much the gist of that particular passage. But then we have Genesis 18. These are foundational passages. Genesis 18:17. Can you read from verse 17, sir? 17 and 18.
Now Yahweh said, "Shall I conceal from Abraham what I'm about to do? Since Abraham will surely become a great and mighty nation, and in him all the nations of the Aret, or the earth, will be Baruch, blessed."
And then 19.
"For I have known him, so that he may command his children and his household after him, that they keep the way of Yah, to do righteousness and justice, so that Yah may bring upon Abraham what he has spoken about him."
Right. So this gives us more intel about Abraham, the patriarch, right? The thing that made him the patriarch, the progenitor, right, is the fact that Yah knew him, right? And this word "know him" or chose him so that he may command his children and his household after him. So a patriarch is not only a progenitor, but he's also a man who is going to command his house and his children and his whole household after Yah, right? According to what Yah commands. And that's what makes him qualify as a patriarch. Not just that he's a progenitor, not just that he has descendants or a nation came from him, but simply because he's a follower of Yah. And I think this will be like the definitive biblical definition of a patriarch. But then there's another how would you say example of a patriarch, and that would be in First Corinthians 11:3.
All right. Exclamation Corinthians 11:3 says.
Go ahead.
But I want you to understand that Mashiach is the head of every man. And the man is the head of the woman. And the Most High is the head of Mashiach.
Now, what does this mean in terms of what Yah expects of men? Does he expect men to be patriarchs, or does he expect men to be simps? What do you guys say? Do you think, based on this, that Yah expects men to be patriarchs? Because certainly Abraham was the head of his household, right? Right. We saw that Adam was the head, but he failed. Patriarch is a man who follows a divine order. Yahweh, Messiah, man, woman, children. Exactly. And that's what we have here in this third verse, right? That's what a patriarch. You're gonna act like you're the head. You're not gonna act like you're the tail, right?
Shalom, brother.
Shalom, Rob. Yes. Blessings to you, House of Lamar. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna act like you're the head, right? Not the body, right? The head doesn't act like the body.
It cannot,
right?
It shouldn't. Yeah.
Right.
It's interesting because you look at it like this, right? A person who simps up is someone who's being submissive. But a person who submits down is a simp.
So the person who simps up is in submission, meaning Messiah simps up to the Most High.
So like the man essentially simps up to the Messiah, and that his role is to seek to please Mashiach.
Let me take your comparison.
Hello?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him.
Brother Michael got a little bit stalled. I think he'll pop right back in. So we're just going to continue with that. Can I read some of the comments in the meanwhile?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
You'll be coming right back, brother. It'll be good. There's a question that we'll have to remember to ask. Was Abraham a simp for following his wife to have a baby by his servant?
No. And the reason why the answer is no is because she was sacrificing something that belonged to her in order to fulfill the instruction for him to procreate. So he wouldn't be simping by essentially receiving a gift from her, because remember, Hagar is a representative of Sarah. So although Hagar has this baby with Abraham, Hagar still belongs to Sarah. She's still under her authority, her order, all that jazz. So he wasn't a simp. Neither was Yaakov a simp for taking Zilpah from Leah and Bilhah from Rachel, as it pertains to continuing the progeny. Like, although these women were handmaids of, our foremothers, they are representatives in this act of our foremothers. So they are acting on behalf of Bilhah is acting on behalf of Rachel, and Zilpah is acting on behalf of Leah, and is reproducing for him. It's that honestly, Abraham and Yaakov, those aren't simp moves, those are flexes.
Yeah.
That their wives believed in them so much. Think about that. That their wives believed in them so much that they would take from what they have and say, hey, continue to reproduce.
I think this question is based on a monogamy prescriptive monogamy.
Sure.
Maybe. I'm just wondering if the brother thinks that maybe that's the question behind there.
I don't know how this is gonna work. Somehow something happened with my internet. I don't know how this is gonna work, but I'm actually using a hotspot off of my phone right now because something just happened to my internet. It just shut down.
Maybe you should plug directly into the box.
No, because it's not.
I was being
I'm using a
facetious.
shared space. Yeah, okay.
That's what you told me the first time I was lagging.
Well, that's why. But I know it's went down. Period. I guess the box is not, probably to unplugged or something.
Yeah.
And I'm in a different room. But I'm able to. Am I glitching? Do I feel like I'm lagging or anything like that? No.
Really? You're good. Yeah, you're
Say
good.
word. I could use my phone.
Word.
Oh my God.
It's working.
That's what I'm using. I'm using my phone.
Say word. It's like that. Oh my goodness. All right. Wow. I'm amazed. I didn't realize that this phone was going to be that powerful. I didn't think I was going to have enough juice. All right. So what was I saying? I was in the middle of saying something, and that's,
you was like, and the patriarch is.
And I froze in a moment of time.
While you were gone, Brother Yahuwah was answering a question. I'll just refresh it. And it was an interesting question. One of the persons asked.
Abraham was sent for following his wife to have a baby by his servant. Oh, wow. Did you answer it? Did anyone answer it?
I answered it.
Okay, what was the answer?
In short, I said both Jacob and Abraham, their Nashim, their wives, by giving them their handmaids, that's a flex because their wives believed in their mission so much so that they would say, hey, let me take from what I have and give it to you to continue reproducing the progeny because I believe in the vision that much.
Right. So it really validates.
That's a flex.
Right. It validates and it shows that he's walking in patriarchy. Right. It demonstrates that he's walking in patriarchy. So when your woman would volunteer the next woman, right, it shows that you are ultimately walking in patriarchy.
Okay.
Right. Right. So awesome how women understood the blessing of having a son, even if it wasn't from themselves personally. Yes. I mean, yes. So we did that when we did that. So I just want to try to pick up from where I was at. I was making a thought and it just threw me off from my thought. Right. But that's okay. We're going to continue further. Right. So here's the next question. Is mercy towards a wayward, rebellious wife simping or obedience? Is mercy towards a wayward, rebellious wife simping or obedience or patriarchal, we should say? What do you guys say in the chat? And sisters, right?
Yes.
Is mercy toward a wayward, rebellious wife simping? Now, let's could you give us an example of a rebellious wife? Give us a hypothetical, right? Of a rebellious wife, and now she's either found out in her rebellion or caught in her rebellion, or if her husband forgives her or if he shows mercy towards her, right?
Oh, that's too easy.
Is he simping or is he acting in obedience as a patriarch?
Now you flipped the
Uncompromised,
question. You flipped the question.
I flipped
You
the question.
flipped it. All right. So, a woman steps outside of her marriage and gets pregnant. Okay.
We can't see the top of your head. We can't see
Oh.
your eyes. You get your camera. Can you tilt it up? There you go, man.
There we go.
Oh,
Yeah,
apologies.
we want to see your eyes, man. We want to see your eyes, bro. Yeah, there you go.
All right. So, a woman, let's say,
I'm having fun here. I'm having fun here tonight. I'm having fun. Go ahead.
Who gets pregnant, who steps outside of her marriage, that's rebellion,
right?
And gets pregnant by another man. That would definitely be a rebellious situation, and he chooses to stay with her. And she, obviously keeps this child. This would be an example of mercy toward a wayward, rebellious wife. Now, is that sipping or is that obedience?
Before you answer that, I'm curious as to what these brothers are gonna say. If you don't mind.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to hear what they're gonna say. I want to hear before you lay it out. I want to hear what they're gonna say.
So,
uncompromised one, Shalom. He says obedience. He says it's obedience. Obedience to what? Uncompromised one. I'm inquiring mind wants to know. He said, I cannot see how. Shono said, I cannot see how that would be obedience, brother. I see that as with capital letters.
Remember, you had in the question the word obedience. So, is mercy towards a wayward, rebellious wife simping or obedience? So
yeah. I mean, we've already qualified that a patriarch is an obedient man to Yah.
Okay.
We've already qualified that, so I don't even have to use the word patriarch, right? Saul's daughter was rebellious, right, towards David, and he didn't have any children with her.
So
he didn't show mercy. He didn't show mercy. Neither did King Ahasuerus to Vashti.
No. Yeah, welcome, brother. So shalom,
Nathan, shalom, brother, bless you, shalom.
Yeah.
All right, so David forgot who he was accountable to. Maybe not simping so much. Agreed.
No, I'm saying greed. The issue is
greed.
For him, it was
greed.
So that's a great question, right? Because you're looking at a particular situation where David interacts with a married woman, right? The difference in Melech David or King David situation was that Bathsheba wasn't enticing him. Bathsheba was just doing what she was supposed to do. And if Melech David was where he was supposed to be, out on the battlefield with the soldiers, he would have never saw, he would have never known, he would have never been in a situation to experience her. But because he was at home and he was up on the rooftop watching, it was like he forgot that he was a representative of the Most High. And in doing so, greed got a hold of him. If it was simping, it would have been, Bathsheba would have been like, oh, wait, come get me, baby. Like what he read in Proverbs. My husband is going away to war. You know what I'm saying? He took his spear with him.
She didn't entice him.
Come get these cookies. Yeah,
well,
she
didn't entice him. No, that's a good point. Interesting.
Yeah, she didn't entice him.
There's one more comment here.
If God is merciful to us, we also must show mercy. Good point. Good point there, brother. Good point. We must show mercy.
Interesting. Brother, y'all was like,
What do you got? All the way before we go to follow the Messiah. What's your pushback on that, Ak?
Yeah.
Make it known. Make it known.
So first and foremost, we got to remember, as I sit on my little throne in my room, my little leather throne, the Most High chose in the Ark of the Covenant for his throne, his representative of his throne to be called the mercy seat. So I keep that in mind whenever we start talking about justice and judgment, because he sits on a seat of mercy. Simultaneously, you have this sticky situation, because the idea of a man going back into his wife, after she's violated their
defiled, breached and defiled.
Yeah, like Reuben didn't get Bilhah pregnant, but Yaakov would not go back into it because she had been adulterated. So when we look at situations like that,
good point.
There can be forgiveness, but there can also be, I'm not going to divorce you, but I'm going to put you away. Meaning, I'm not going back into you anymore because of what you. So just because there's mercy doesn't mean there's not consequences. And I think we think, through the lens of Christianity or whatever, socio-religious background we come from, that mercy means escape from consequence. And that is not the case. You look at Noah and Noach and his whole family on the ark. Do you think that they felt like they were, saved from this situation and, they got the love of the Most High? Or you think they felt isolated at times?
Isolated at times.
You think they ever felt lonely being on this ark? There's 8 of them, and yet you could still feel lonely, right? You can still feel abandoned. We the only humans left. What we going? I got to deal with this woman for the rest of there's so much to that, right? And so you could look at his mercy. You could also look at it like this is a consequence. But consequence is not a bad nor good word. It's neither bad nor good. It's neutral. So when we look at this rebellious, wayward woman who, in my scenario, she steps outside of her marriage and she gets pregnant by another man, a man can forgive her. A man can essentially put that behind, even if that child is not his. He can set all that to the side and continue moving forward. The question becomes, who does the child belong to? Does it belong to the man, the husband, or does it belong to the man that produced that seed?
Well, I think you talked about that before, but the landowner is a landowner. You go straying down the lane and you spread feed on somebody else's property, doesn't mean the plant is yours, right?
Yeah, right. So these are how we start to have these different socioeconomic, these socio positional places in the Torah. Like, how does a person become a servant, or like a permanent servant? How does a person become like a permanent lower status, and thus their children, the highest position they can become is like a handmaid?
Interesting.
You start thinking about, okay,
how did it become that way?
This manservant here is a position of mercy because you were a byproduct of an adulterous situation, and they preserved you in this family rather than destroyed you.
Right. Right.
Mm.
Right. Here's a question. Where does this idea of mercy with full restoration even come from? Where does it come from? That,
Mercy with
you
full
know,
restoration.
in order to be merciful, you have to allow for full restoration, because that's kind of like what the brother is alluding to, right?
Yeah.
You have been forgiven, so you too must forgive. So there's this idea that says in the biblical community, right? And
Sure.
that's why I'm posing the question, because the biblical community is very vast, right? It's not only interdenominational, but it's interfaith, right? But there's this idea that in order to extend mercy, one must extend full restoration.
They have to be put back in the same position that they
The
were
same
before.
position that you were in before you rebelled, right?
Mhm.
Before you rebelled. So where does this idea come from, right?
Christianity.
Right. Because
it don't come from the Bible.
Right. 500 years ago with the Council of Trent, one of the polity tenets of that particular doctrine is that marriage is indissoluble.
Mm-hmm.
So the popes basically in their polity did away with a man's right to be able to divorce. Right? The popes did away with the idea that divorce is even biblical. They made it unbiblical according to their Christian doctrine. So whether you're Protestant or Roman Catholic, that idea still lingers. That in order to forgive your wife, forgive your woman, and extend mercy, you must extend full restoration. She must maintain the same status that she had prior to going out there being an adulterous woman or a rebellious woman. What do you say, Ak?
Yo,
What do you
like
say, sis?
what the highest position in a home is the father, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the next highest position?
The mother, the wife.
What say you, Brother Mike?
I asked the question again because I was looking at the banners. Say that again.
In a home, if the highest position is the husband, what's the next highest position?
If the highest position is the husband, I think I would say the next highest position would be his son. Because because the son is going to eventually take over. Let's just say the father dies, right?
Right.
Who takes charge of everything? It's not the wife, it's the son.
Right. But if Ema has done her job, he is going to preserve, take care of, and honor his Ema,
his mom,
to the highest degree. You know, without simping. You know.
Without
so
simping.
check this out.
Still putting y'all first. Still putting y'all first.
Still putting the Most High first.
Right.
So if the Most High gives us an illustration, and he says, the man had two sons, and the younger one is like, yo, give me my inheritance, I'm out. And the father makes provisions and gives him his inheritance, and he goes away. And while he's away, he spends it all riotous living.
Right.
Okay. And then a famine comes, and he winds up taking the absolute worst job of a Hebrew man, that is taking care of swine, the trash cans of the earth. Okay. And then not only does he take care of them, he's literally eating. He has become like swine to his own. Okay. And so then he remembers, the servants of my father don't even live like this. I'm not going to go back and petition to become a son to him again. I'm going to petition to become a servant of him, because I was in a position, I left that position, and now I found myself in a lower estate, right? So when he approaches the father covers him, puts shoes on his feet, puts a ring on his hand, but that doesn't mean that he's restored back to the same place that he was. That just means that the father has covered him and given him a sense of authority in position of what belongs to him. But that doesn't make it his again. That's the point that I'm making. It doesn't make it his again. What was his, he lost.
Right. And I think that it also shows the kind of heart of what he was expecting. Like he demonstrated the true heart of repentance. A true
Right.
heart of repentance, a wife that has become rebellious or adulterous shouldn't come back expecting she got her spot, right? He didn't come back expecting that he was going to have a spot. You get what I mean?
Yes.
And so he demonstrated, well, Yeshua's parable demonstrated by highlighting this about this son, is that his level of humility, which we all should have when we repent, is not to expect like we're supposed to get our spot back. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, we see it in other areas. We see it in the sports, what have you. You know, listen, you lose your spot because you was doing the wrong thing. You wasn't practicing. You can't expect, when the game time comes, you're gonna be on that field. Right? You may have to go to special teams or go to something else, right? But you can't expect that you're gonna have that same spot. Yes, sis.
Isn't the problem is that in prescriptive monogamy, there's only one spot. There is no other spot.
There's only one spot, and that's the thing, and that's what the Moray up here is doing, so eloquently. He's making that case that there are different spots. So when he started talking about the concubine, the maid servant, like there's different spots in a patriarchal home, right? And so forgiveness and mercy doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have that same spot, right?
Right.
The prodigal son story. Now we got the prodigal son story in a polygynous,
exactly.
with a polygynous,
Exactly.
how you say, lens on it, right? That
exactly.
He did not have the attitude in his heart of repentance where he felt entitled to gain the same spot he had,
right?
Before he went out, right? Yes, sis.
I'll give you an example. I know of a sister who is being introduced to polygyny, but I'll just generally, she doesn't watch the show. But anyways, the whole point is that there's some women who, because they think their husband will never divorce them because they believe this Pope thing, there's no divorce. As long as she doesn't actually have sex with a man, that's her limit. She'll do everything else. She'll be disrespect him, curse him out, do whatever she wants. And he said he's going to take another wife. She doesn't care because he said, you can't divorce me. So she's rebellious, actively rebellious, because she believes there's no other position for him to put her out of. Right?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what? yeah. Because I think the understanding you said is that because they were under the teaching or the false understanding that he could never divorce her.
Yeah. So
well, their circumstances,
right?
Their circumstances may be like, for example, let's say she was a virgin, right? And she was living in her father's house, and he beguiled her, he wooed her, and then slept with her, and then was like, "Oh, we married," or went back to her father and was like, "Hey, this happened," and her father's like, "Fine, according to the Torah, he could never divorce her all the days of his life." So that doesn't mean that he can't put her away, and these are those nuances we assume mean the same thing, and they don't. Divorce is to literally cut somebody off so that they are no part of them is still attached. It's literally a cutting off. So now she can go according to the Torah and be another man's wife.
She's
right.
Right.
But somebody who's put away is not divorced.
So that's a punishment on its
He's
own, though.
it's a consequence on its own. He still assumes the responsibility of providing her, ensuring that she's, has, food and clothing and shelter and all that. But that does not mean he got to go back into her. That does not mean that he got to continually deal with her on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I
David
want
did to Paul's daughter. He didn't go back into her again. Yeah.
And I want, that's what I'm saying. I want to qualify that, right?
Okay.
Because there is a patriarchal biblical use of putting away, and then there's the putting away that Yah hates, right? So when we Malachi 2 lets us know that the Yah hates the putting away. What kind of putting away was going on in Malachi? Well, you had men in Israel, right, who were putting their women away treacherously. They were doing it so that they could replace them or swap them with some other woman, right? And they were doing it unrighteously. It wasn't that these women deserved to be put away, but it was that they did it treacherously. The men were being unfaithful to their wives of their covenant, the wives of their youth, right? That's different from David. That's different from what David did, right? What he did, he did that because Michal was being rebellious or insubordinate or disrespectful towards him. That's why he did it. In other words, when he did it, it was justified. But when the men in the book of Malachi, right, under Malachi, did it, they did it treacherously. So there's a difference between doing it righteously and then there's a, because putting away is that you put the woman away, she can't get married unless if you give her a bill of divorce. And if you do it, it's because of something indecent in her. Those three things got to line up. There has to be an indecency inside her. You have to give her a bill of divorce, and then you put her away. But she can still remain attached to you if she's rebellious and you decide, you know what? I'm not going to divorce you. I'm just going to put you away.
That's a punishment there because
that's
your presence. Oh,
said earlier,
it's not a punishment. It's a consequence.
It's a consequence.
It is neither good nor bad, but it is both good and bad.
Yo, you're just so nice with your words, man. It's not a punishment. It's just a consequence.
It's just a consequence.
Yo, imagine in school and you got to keep writing. I will not talk or chew gum in class. I will not talk or chew. It's not a punishment. It's just a consequence.
Especially if they know in advance that this is what will result from this behavior.
Yeah, so you chose that behavior.
You chose that. You chose it.
Right. It's just like, when you have a good daughter and the time for her to become married comes and she's followed in your way, like you're gonna pull out all stops to ensure that this is the most beautiful celebration for her, etc. That the send-off is great because she deserves it, right? That's a consequence to her following the order and the instruction. Good. But in the same token, if you have a rebellious daughter who sits at home and sleeps all day, who doesn't want to assist in the household chores or doesn't want to assist in the success of the family, you cannot expect this grandeur send-off if it ever happens because you didn't put in the work.
Right.
It's not that that the father hates her. It's just a natural consequence. You reap what you sow.
Okay.
God's not mocked. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
There's another theological question for you all related to that. Do you want to answer that?
The word says if she is defiled by another man, you cannot take her back. If you ignore that word and take her back, you are simp.
What do you mean by take her back? If you mean take her back, meaning her residing with you, etc., How is that simping? Let's just play the wording, right? You're showing mercy. It doesn't mean you got to sleep with her ever again, but you're showing mercy. Why? Because what was your vow that you made when you took her to be your wife? What did you profess? And so it's about you keeping your vow. Although there's an out, you choose not to take it. That's not simping. That's mercy. Like, you realize that we don't deserve mercy. So if we apply the same concept to what the Most High has done for us, what you're implicating is that the Most High is a simp, because even in our unrighteousness, even in our sin, he yet sent his son to be our propitiation, so that we can come back into a right standing with him. That would be, based upon your definition, a simp move. I don't know that I would say that of the Father. And our job is to be a reflection of the Father.
Yeah, what brother? Yeah, follow the Messiah. I think he said this earlier. What brother Yahoo is saying is true. The Most High forgave David, but the curses still followed Solomon.
Right.
Exactly. It still stayed in David's house, right? The sword never left his house. He had children killed and other children, right? But to that point, I think it's very important. Like, because one of the brothers said earlier, he made the point about how we will not be forgiven unless we forgive, right? Yeshua taught that. Yeshua commanded that, right? That in order for us to be forgiven, we have to forgive. Now, that's a commandment, right? But then there's also a commandment that, that that if a woman is caught in the act of adultery, that she's supposed to be stoned, right? Or Yeshua says that save for adultery, right? He said that you're not to put your woman away. So in other words, if she is caught in adultery, that you can put her away. But here's the question: putting her away or divorcing her, is that a commandment, right? Or is that an option that you have, right? So is the man that y'all have, is he commanded to put away his woman who has been rebellious, wayward, or who has even committed adultery? Is he commanded to do that, as he's commanded to forgive? And again, going back to this word forgive, right? Just because he forgives her, does that necessarily means that he has to fully restore her? Right. Many times in the scripture, forgiveness is given, but the judgment or punishment stands. Amen.
Right.
Yes. So listen, punishment, restitution, restoration are all different from forgiveness. Forgiveness is a different principle. It may be accompanied by restitution and restoration, right?
Right.
But it's not distinct. It's not the same thing, right? Forgive means I don't hold this against you, right? Restore means that I'm going to bring you back to where you were, right? A man can forgive, but the Torah forbids a man to go into his wife after another man has entered her.
What did you
Does
say?
it?
Does
it? Does it? Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
All right, so check this out, right? So in the Torah, we've discussed this before previously. There's a law of jealousy, right? And the law of jealousy is, if you suspect that your wife has cheated on you or crept on you or committed adultery, then you can follow these steps to discover it to be true. It doesn't
whether she committed adultery or not.
True. What I'm saying is, you can suspect it and go, you know what? I'm not gonna do this. It's not a command that you have to. It's the provision that if you suspect it and you want to know, here's how you can know. So my point is, she could have cheated on you, and you've gone into her, it doesn't mean that you've sinned just because you chose not to go down that path. And so if we follow the train of logic of, oh, well, if she cheated and you go back into her, it's sin. You got to be careful with that, because, you know, the examples that we have provided in the script where the man doesn't go back into the woman are the vast majority are relatives. So when we look at Judah, Jacob and Judah, excuse me, I'm sorry, Jacob and Reuben with Bilhah. Reuben is his son. So going back into Bilhah, like that's definitely defiling the situation. When we look at Dawid and the concubines that he had, and his son Absalom goes and sleeps with them on the rooftop in front of all of Israel.
Yeah,
that's his son, completely defiled. So, you know, you would have to provide an example where this isn't the case. I'll give you one. Dawid with Uriah the Hittite. What did Dawid try to do to cover this up? He tried to get Uriah to go back into his wife. He wasn't trying to get Uriah to sin. He was trying to get Uriah to cover his sin.
Okay.
Yielding.
All right, so come on. The answer to this question we're gonna explore further as we go on, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna go on for let's go on further into the what's the name. So the last question that we asked, right, was is mercy toward a wayward rebellious wife simping or obedience, right? So the answer to that is that mercy, when led by Yah's instructions, is like strength under his discipline, rather than weakness under a woman's emotions. Read that again. Mercy, when led by Yah's instruction, is like strength under his discipline, rather than weakness under a woman's emotions. So let's look at that. Hosea.
Woo!
Hosea 3. Hosea 3. All right, so let's go to. All right, hold on a second. I don't have it up.
Yeah, man, that's a tough one.
Yeah, my cursor is lagging now that I'm not using the modem.
Oh, it's all good.
Right.
I got
it. Yeah, okay, I got it. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're gonna do verse 1 and 2. Could you read verse 1 and 2?
Absolutely. Hosea chapter 3. It says, Then Yah said to me, Go again, love a woman who is loved by her companion and is an adulteress, even as Yah loves the sons of Israel, though they turn to other gods and love raisin cakes. So I bargained for her for myself for 15 shekels of silver and an omer and a hat of barley.
So this, yes, stop right there. You can stop right there. Oh, you know what? Go ahead. Go to the third verse.
Then I said to her, You shall stay with me for many days. You shall not play the harlot, nor shall you have a man. So I will also be toward you.
So notice what Yah is commanding him to do. He's commanding him to go back to this adulterous wife of his who's playing the harlot and pay for her. Be a trick and pay for her. And so that she won't be with any other men but him. So is Yah commanding Hosea to go into this woman who had another man in her? Is he commanding her to do? Is he really commanding her to do this? What do you guys say? Hosea was commanded by Yah to take the harlot, as was Isaiah. But I am not. No, you're not. And I don't know. But here's the question. Here's the question. Here's the question. The statement that was made, yeah, but the statement was made earlier. The statement was made earlier. That Yah commands that a man does not go back into a woman who's already been defiled. So why would Yah command this man to do that? Does Yah violate his own commands?
Like, why is he laughing?
It's the consequence.
Sorry.
Hosea was so the consequence. Yeah, but go ahead.
Nah, man. It doesn't say that Hosea did anything stupid. Like, as a matter of fact, it's the opposite. Like,
right.
The Most High is looking down, and he said, "I found the man with the perfect representation or qualification of my character in this way, and I can give him this assignment, and he will do it. Whereas all these other men, they won't fulfill it. I can see in them, it is not in them to walk this out, but in him."
Yes. And notice what Yah says. What he says is very similar to what Yahuwah said earlier, right? That Yah was really making this point that if you take this woman back, you're going to be doing what I do.
Right.
It not only is he telling Hosea that he's commanding him to take this woman back, right? Pay for her to take her back, right? You know, pay, give her money, give her trick money off the streets so she could come back to himself, right?
Right.
Not only is he doing that, he's saying when you do that, you're doing what I do, what I have done. Notice what he says in verse. It says, "Then Yahweh said to me, go again, love a woman who is loved by her companion and is an adulteress, even as Yahweh loves the sons of Israel, though they turn to other gods and love raisin cakes." So I'm not telling Hosea to do anything that I'm not doing. Is the point that he's making.
Right.
So here's the question. Is there anything wrong with Hosea taking back the adulterous woman? Is there anything wrong with Yah taking back the adulterous people? Right? The idolatrous people of his who's gone astray unto other elves? What do you say?
If anything, it's a gasp when everyone else sees that he does it.
All right, so
he took them back.
He took them back.
He took them back.
Yes. 6:8. Micah 6:8.
I'm
all
there.
Right. All right. Can you read that?
It says, "He has told you, O man, what is good. And what does Yah require of you? But to do justice, to love loving kindness, and to walk humbly with your El."
All right. So
your Elohim.
Mercy is a commandment. It's a commandment. Justice is a commandment, right? You know, loving kindness is a commandment, right? What is loving kindness? It's the kind of love that is gracious. It's something that a person, it's non-transactional. The person didn't do anything for this, and the person can't do anything for this. It's a kind of love that you show them that they don't even even deserve. And this is a commandment to extend a love to a person that doesn't even deserve it. And this is what Yah commands. At the same token, he's
Mm.
also commanding justice. And that's kind of like goes on what Ox said earlier, right? That he sits on a mercy seat, but he also executes justice at the same time.
Can I? Like what Reuben did by sleeping with Bilhah, and she was intoxicated, right?
Right.
It should have caused him to be excommunicated. He should have sent in John Wick to handle Reuben
John Wick.
with a pencil. A pencil. He should have been handled. But what did he do? He didn't excommunicado Reuben. What he did was he repositioned him.
Right.
And his lineage.
Wow.
And his lineage. Yeah. The consequence, right?
Consequence.
Matthew 6:14-15 follows right after Yeshua teaching his disciples how to pray.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Read 14 and 15, sir.
For if you forgive others for their transgressions, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others, then your Father will not forgive your transgressions.
It's conditional. We don't receive forgiveness without forgiving. It's transactional, right? In this sense, there's nowhere in the world we can expect him to forgive us if we're not willing to forgive. All right, so here's the next question. Does forgiving adultery make a man a simp? Simple.
That's what you're asking, yeah.
Does forgiving adultery make a man a simp? I know I ain't going into a woman if another man do it. But what makes it okay if she did it before you took her? Is she not defiled? Guess what? Most men in the West are marrying women with high body counts who've practiced dating. We said this on previous streams.
Yeah, somebody asked me that today.
Dating is prostitution, right? For a woman, right? Which one of many of us, right here on this stream, right here, how many of us are with the woman that we were their only one? How many of us are with a woman or have not been with a woman that many other men have already had?
Many men.
Yeah, so the reality is that prostitution, whoredoms is common here in the West, especially in the dating culture, right? And most of us marry women from the dating culture. How do you marry prostitutes by biblical definition, right? And now all of a sudden you can't take a woman that's not clean. The woman that you scooped up is a prostitute. The woman that you scooped up was unclean, right? You made her a wife. My wife was a virgin. I'm not even expecting the second to be, though. But notice what he says. He's not expecting it, right? He's not expecting it. But that is the standard that many men have. Like, they don't mind, right? This is the reason why we culturally don't pay bride prices, because we do not put a high value on virginity. There's exactly pros out there. Yeah. But we've taught that it was okay for women to be a part of the dating culture. Fathers are okaying it. Fathers are watching their little girls go into the car of some strange man they just met that night. You understand? To go and have some fun.
Hey, be careful out there.
Be careful out there. Make sure you get home. Oh yeah, I could be finished by 9. I could be finished by 10.
It is absolutely so heartbreaking. I know a Christian family here, and they came several times, and their daughter was a virgin, and she took it off her list just because it was cool, and her parents made her approve of the fact that she can do that whenever she wanted. That's how little they thought of it at the world.
Yeah. Or the young ladies, listen. I have a first cousin.
Mm.
She died in the like in like 79, 70, yeah, about 79. She died. She was in her 20s. She was in college, right? You know how she died?
I'm sorry, you said 79, like
79, back in
1979?
1979. She was an older
Oh my
cousin of
gosh.
mine. She was an older cousin of mine, right? And she
Mhm.
died. She was in college, right? And she
How'd she die?
died because she asked her mom, and then her mom said, "You know, you're gonna have to ask your dad." And what she asked was, can she get on birth control?
Mhm.
She got on birth control, and birth control back in those days wasn't that safe, right? And she actually went into the bathroom. She sat on the toilet, and my uncle, who approved it, heard a thump,
Oh no.
and he went into the bathroom. She died.
Oh my gosh.
She died.
Oh.
She died.
Mm.
She died. It was so sad. And his wife is the matriarch of my family on my mom's side.
Oh, that's
And
so
I got
sad.
an opportunity back in 2011 and to interview her, for family tree information or just to get information about the family. And so happened while I was that interview lasted like 4 hours. While I was in, he came home. He happened to come home, and he got into the interview, and he started sharing information that he had, about the family and everything. And he told me we talked on that, and I mean, like, when he talked about it, it was like it was just yesterday,
Oh my.
right? Like he really regretted making that decision, allowing his daughter to take birth control. It's still not safe. No, it still isn't safe. Still isn't safe. But these are the chances and these are the risks, right? For prostitution purposes, right? Because if it's not for marriage, if a woman is gonna have sex and it's not for marriage, it's for whoredoms. Clear cut, no another way of putting it, right? So, all right. So here's the answer to this question. All right. Forgiveness is righteous when guided by covenant truth, but tolerance of rebellion without repentance is foolishness. There's a flip side to it. Yes, we're commanded to forgive, but we're not. It's foolish for us to tolerate rebellion, blatant rebellion, ongoing rebellion. Right? There has to be a cutoff. Right? Matthew 19. Let's go back to the text. Matthew 19, 8-9. I think it's Matthew 19.
You mean your wife can't be a full-time 304?
No.
She can't even be a part-time 304. What are you talking about?
Be on OnlyFans or OnlyFools?
So she can't even think about it, right? All right. So we started from verse 7. Can you start from verse 7 up?
Of course. They said to him, "Why then did Moses command to give her a certificate of divorce and send her away?"
Notice it's not just send her away, it's a certificate of divorce and send her away. So there's two different things. So now Yeshua is getting ready to bust. What's that third part that I talked about earlier? Because remember I said it was 3 parts to it. Okay, go ahead. Verse 8.
But he said to them, "Because of your hardness of heart, Moshe permitted you to divorce your wives. But from the beginning, it was not. It has not been this way."
Okay, so now why did Yeshua said divorce is instituted?
Because of the hardness of hearts.
Okay, but from the beginning it wasn't like this. So
the King James says, and from the beginning it was not so.
So what was Yah's expectation for a wife who, how would you say, deserved to be divorced? What was his expectation from the beginning based on what he's saying here?
What's the opposite of hard and heart?
Right. I'm going to get to that. But Yah is saying, notice Yeshua is saying, right? Because of the hardness of your heart, Moses permitted you to divorce your wives, but from the beginning it has not been this way. So if a wife before Moshe, right? No, let's just say near the beginning. Let's just say Lamech. Let's just say Seth, right? Adam's sons, right? Adam's son Seth, right? On down, and that the first 3-4 generations down, a man's woman commits adultery. If he's saying from the beginning it was not this way of men divorcing their wives, then what was the normal standard back then if a woman committed adultery? Because something changed by the time you got to Moshe, that he gave this permission to divorce your wives. What was it that changed?
Was it either they murdered they got stoned, or they got mercy somehow?
He's saying the hardness of your. He's talking to the men, because the men did the stoning, the women didn't do the stoning. He's saying the hardness of your hearts. What was the standard in the beginning that is no longer the standard now? Or what would happen if a woman committed adultery? What was the likelihood based on what he's implying here?
Brick shower.
No, prior to notice what he's saying here. Because of the hardness of your heart, Moshe permitted you to divorce your wife. So to divorce her is to cut her off.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
Okay, so let's go back to Sister Deborah's question, because maybe that might help. What does hardness mean here?
To be firm, unmovable.
Okay, firm and unmovable in what way?
Judgment.
In judgment. But from the beginning, it wasn't like this. Meaning that men were more apt to forgive until hardness set in. Men were more forgiving, because is that not what Yeshua is commanding? He's commanding forgiveness, in his ministry. So what he's saying is, prior to Moshe being permitted to give this permission to divorce your wives, at the beginning, it wasn't like this. Men weren't so hard in their heart, because that's what he's talking about. It's the hardness. It's not the divorce he's talking about. He's talking about because you are so quick to judge. You are so unwilling to forgive. Yah gave you this permission to divorce your wives. Why? To have mercy on these women. Because Yah would forgive. But you're not willing to forgive. And that's the point that he's making with Hosea. I'm willing to forgive, so I want Hosea to be a living example of how I forgive. And so from the beginning, this is how he made men to be forgivable. He made men with forgiving hearts. He made men with hearts that were not hardened.
Right. But this also, to turkey back off of what you're saying, or lamb slide, or celery slide, however you want to.
Yeah.
They're asking for any reason. Like,
for any reason.
Can a man put away his wife for any reason? You know what? I'm sick of the fact that this woman can't cook.
Right.
You know what? This woman is dirty. Her room ain't never clean. Her feet always stink. Any reason, right? So you got these people, that are like, I want to put her away because you know what? Her breath stink in the morning and I just can't deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Her armpits smell something ferocious.
So what's the point with hardness?
Right. So this is that, your heart is so hard that you're gonna find any reason to put her away.
But he's not just highlighting the fact of any reason. He's saying it was not this way that you even needed a bill of divorce.
Right.
That's the point that's being made in this one verse here. He said to them, because of the hardness of your heart, Moses permitted you to divorce your wives. But from the beginning, it was not this way. In other words, there was no need for a bill of divorce because men wasn't seeking to put their wives away from them because they sinned, much less they didn't cook the food right. You understand? They recognized that marriage before Moses, men recognized that marriage was from here in on out. That's how they were. And so if the woman was in error, they weren't looking for a way out. They weren't looking to, bring judgment, right? They were pliable to, or how would you say, they were free to forgive. They weren't hard. Is the point that he was making. They weren't hard like how you men are. You're so hard now that it could be for any and every reason because this is what you're presenting to me. And so they're trying to justify their any and every reason by saying, yeah, but why did Moses give this said to give her a certificate and a bill of divorce and send her on her way? Why did Moses do this? He said it's because of the hardness of your heart. That's why Moses, but from the beginning, it wasn't like this. Meaning before Moses, it wasn't like this that men would divorce their women for any and every reason. They are looking for reasons just to sever her off. Right? Think about it this way. Yeshua talks about sin. And he says, if your right eye offends you, pluck it out. If your right hand offends you, pluck it out. What's the point? What's the meaning behind that? What's the meaning behind that, Sister D? When he says that if your right eye offends you, pluck it out.
To save the rest of the body.
The rest of the body.
It's like cancer. If you have breast cancer, cut off the breast because the breast, although it's valuable, you don't want it to spread to the rest of the body.
Right. But what's the flip side of that? As the person who is the owner of the body, right? Yeah. Or the possessor of the body, which is us, right? The vessel.
Yeah.
We're going to try to do as much as we can to save that eye.
You don't want to willy-nilly do it, though, because it's painful.
We're gonna do as much as we can to save that arm.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
but how many of us at the drop of the dime with no problem just say, you know what? Off with my right hand.
Oh, off with my
out with my eye.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to our own, remember, Paul used the analogy of the body to treat the wife like your own body, right? If you're not quick to chop off your arm, why are you so quick to chop off your woman?
That's a good one. Wow.
If you're not so quick to pluck out your eye, why are you so quick to pluck out your woman? Right?
You first a lot of things. You have to have other options first. You explore those first.
Exactly. Let's try to work this thing out. Let's try to fix this. And so what Yeshua is saying, before Moses gave this from the beginning, men weren't just putting their wives away, just like they worked it out. Is the point that he's making. That's the real point of what he's implying here, because you develop this hardness, which is the reason why Yah gave you that bill of divorce coded in the law. You were gonna say something else, Hop?
I put it in the chat. I said better to I said better to come in looking like Slick Rick than to bust the kingdom open looking like Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget. we won't want to do right. We won't want to do that. And you got to remember, your woman is your body. Right? How many of you will be so quick? You understand? Just think about it. You playing basketball, you playing sports, and you mess up on your crossover, you miss a layup or whatever it is. You be quick to chop your hand off. No, you won't. You're gonna go practice. I'm gonna figure out a way how I'm gonna get this handle right. I'm gonna get this dribble right. You understand? I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna throw this pitch right. I'm not gonna cut my hand off because I blew a game. You get what I'm saying?
But he might pull you off the roster.
He might pull me off the roster, right? But while I'm pulled off the roster and I got to deal with the consequences, right?
Consequences.
I'm going to do what I got to do to get it right, but I'm not going to be quick to cut off my hand.
because I want to stay on the team.
Right.
Brother
Exactly.
Michael.
You saw what I
Yes,
did there,
yes.
right? You saw what I did
Yeah.
there, right?
Yes. Yeah, I see you, Jedi.
I'm trying to stay on the roster.
You're trying to stay on the roster. Exactly. And so, and if you cut off your woman, which is your right hand, your right eye, if you cut her off presumptuously, if you cut her off being rushed to judgment, you understand? And I'm convinced, like how I would say all the time, I think there's a lot of women that's gonna go to hell. I think a lot of men are gonna go to hell because they judge their women unrighteously. Yes, Sister D, we're gonna say.
I just wonder if that attitude of cutting off is also stems from the monogamy only perspective, again, the prescriptive monogamy. Because if you think you only have one right arm, or you're only allowed to have one right hand, and you don't realize that there's other methods of consequences for her adultery, maybe other demotions in the family, different things. She's not the only position is one. So when people in a monogamous, prescriptive monogamous world only has one room for one wife, then if that doesn't work out, they want to cut and replace and cut and replace.
Yeah, well, serial monogamy.
Right? But if you have the concept of what Brother Yahweh was talking about with different ways of consequences of correction and rehabilitation, then there's no need to go to that extreme. It's like if you only have one cure for cancer, and that means to just chop the person up in pieces instead of doing other treatments, and that's what happens, right?
Right.
But the problem with that, Sister Deborah, is that now somebody's going to say that you are socially abusing them or emotionally abusing them, or because they don't want to take accountability and own the consequence to their action. Now he's the bad guy because how did the Most High do it? Removed his presence.
Yeah.
So
and then people become angry with Yah,
right?
Because they're stuck in debt, they stuck in bad relationship, they stuck with the sickness and the illness that they got because they went out there and did the wrong things and stuff and so forth. So then they become mad with Yah because he removed his presence, and they gotta suffer in their consequences, right? So they get mad with him.
Yes.
All right, cool. So that was where we at. I just want to make sure we pick up where. Okay, so then. All right, so the next passage was okay. So that's and that's kind of like the point that I was making, that the woman is the man's body, right? That's Ephesians 5, 25. Can you read that, please?
I got you. Ephesians 5.
See, we like to read this passage when it comes to the wanting to make the case, or the fact that it reveals that the wife is in subjection to the husband and everything. But there's a flip side to this, right?
It says husbands. Ish. Love your nashim, or love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself up for her, so that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of water with the word.
Right. Now, did Yeshua, hold on, stop right there. Did Yeshua give himself up for his body, his bride, because of their obedience? Or did he give himself up with them for their rebellion and disobedience? Did he offer himself a sacrifice because they were obeying, doing the thing the right way? Or was he offering himself as a sacrifice because they were not obeying and doing the right thing? Because a sacrifice is painful. A sacrifice is, you give something that is of value, that you, to the point where you feel it, right? And so when he gave up himself for a people who were rebellious, not people who were obedient. Think about it. Think about it. And so he's saying to the husbands, I want you to give up yourselves to your woman, even if she is rebellious. Now, you still want to be a husband? Go ahead, brother.
That he might present to himself the assembly in all her glory, having no spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that she would be holy and blameless.
So the goal is to bring her from blemish, unrighteousness, idolatry, whoredoms, right? To being
Defiled.
perfect, to being defiled, being how would you say,
From defiled to
holy,
undefiled, right?
right, undefiled, right? Okay. And this last verse, well, no, the last two verses, 28 and 29.
So husbands ought also to love their own wives, their nashim, as their own bodies.
So this right there, this is what I get when I say, are you willing to just cut your hand off and pluck your eye out so readily and so easily? Or are you going to look for another way because your hand offended you? Your right eye deceived you, right?
Oh,
Your lips disrespected you, right? Are you going to just cut it off just that easy? Or are you going to look up a way to remedy this, to make it holy, to make it blameless? Because you love your body, and you know that your job is there to self-sacrifice in order to do this. In the process, we talk about we want women, but are you really prepared to be a husband? Yeah, go ahead, brother.
He who loves his own wife loves himself.
So that's the thing. Here's the point. If you don't love her enough to be self-sacrificing, then you don't love yourself. Go ahead. Next one.
For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as Mashiach also does the assembly.
And that's it. And that's it.
We are members of his body.
We are members of his body. We are members of his body. Okay, good. So let's go to the next one. So, all right. Did Yah command Hosea to simp by taking his adulterous wife back?
Is that a yes or
Somebody
no?
called him a simp earlier.
Can we put a thumbs up if you think it's simp?
Yeah. Did Yah command Hosea to simp by taking his adulterous wife back? His cheating wife. His 304 cotton sluttish wife back. Tricking wife. Somebody got an extra I'm hearing a echo. Yeah. So I mean, was Hosea commanded to be a simp or a patriarch? So here's a question. We already made the point that a patriarch is going to obey Yah. We already made the point that forgiveness is obeying Yah, right? So was Hosea technically a simp or a patriarch by being commanded to take this 304 back? Who's defiled herself?
She got a name. Her name was Goma.
Listen.
We have one yes here, though.
Say yes. Y'all, to say yes would be calling Yah us. Exactly. So we throw this term simp around. We got to stop following the manosphere. We throw this term simp down, but it's not necessarily biblical. It's not necessarily biblical. That's the whole point of this topic here tonight. You understand? It's not necessarily biblical, because biblical means that you're going to do whatever Yah tells you to do. So going back to the previous question, you understand, does forgiving an adulterous wife make a man a simp? Because he was commanded to forgive the woman. Tough one. Hosea was living out a parable in real time by father's direct. Exactly. But the father was also making the point that in this living this out in real time, right? Under the father's direction, the father was saying, this is what I do for you. And we say we want to be husbands. Her name was Gomer because
she was always on go. Go more.
Go more.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Good one. Yeah. So Hosea is really about Yah showing himself as a husband willing to take back his adulterous, prostitute, and sexually immoral, idolatrous woman back.
That's a harsh. Wow.
That's really the gist of it, right? That's the moral of the story. Right. And so if Yah is saying, and this is so when we read Ephesians 5, right? And when Yeshua says this wasn't how it was intended in the beginning, to be divorcing your wives at all. Even if she did sin, is the implication. Right? Yeshua says this, right? So what is the picture that we're getting here with Hosea? Was he a simp?
Hosea was a good son, that he listened to his father. He was a great son because he obeyed the voice of his father.
So was he a patriarch? Patriarch?
He was a good son because he obeyed.
Is a patriarch a good son?
Yes, patriarch's a good son.
Yeah, he's following in the direction of his father. So yes, that makes him a patriarch.
That makes him a patriarch. That makes him. He offered himself because he loved the most high.
You ain't gonna get me to call him no simp. I'm gonna say he was a great son.
Exactly. He was a better son than Adam. He was a better son than Adam, and Adam ain't had to do all of this.
So it's a
He
question.
had to go out.
Is that
demasculating to follow Yah? Is it demasculated? No. According to Galatians 5, when we did that earlier, right? When the Galatians were seduced to no longer obey the truth, right? Bewitched to no longer obey the truth, Paul implied that they emasculated themselves. Right? So when we follow the truth, we have our masculinity intact.
Wow.
That's the implication.
Yeah.
I just looked it up, and Hosea is a variation.
Yes.
Man, my mind exactly. Hosea means something exactly.
Really? Wow.
And it is the reason. It is the example of how we are to be to our women. That's the analogy of Ephesians 5. You brothers want to go to Ephesians 5 to try to prove to your woman that she should be in submission to you. But here's the question: are you going to be an Adon to your woman as Yeshua is to us?
You know, the reality is.
Notice. Going back to the Matthew passage. Okay, the Matthew. No, is it? No, that was a little bit further out. When we did the Matthew 19, there we go. In the Matthew 19, notice what is said a little bit further on here. Verse 10. The disciples said to him, if the relationship of the man with his wife is like this, it is better not to marry. Why? Because Yeshua was dropping some knowledge on them, some revelation on them, some insight on them of what it truly means to be a husband. They ain't never even heard of. Because they were so accustomed to discarding women. What about the law to not take back an ex-wife? What about that? What about
There's
that?
not a law. There's not a law that says you can't take back an ex-wife. The law is that once she moves forward to belong to another man, that he's not supposed to take her back. because that's
Right.
polluting.
Right.
You know,
And it's not, and that's if she goes and marries another man. That's not the same for if she went and committed adultery. That's he's talking about Deuteronomy 24.
Yeah.
All right, Deuteronomy 24. All right. Could you read it from the first verse, sir?
Yes. If a man takes a wife and marries her, and it happens that she find no favor in his eyes because he has found some indecency in her, and he writes her a certificate of divorce and puts it in her hand and sends her out of his house.
Stop right there.
Stop
right there. There's the three components of divorce. The indecency inside her, writes the certificate of divorce and puts it in her hand. And then the third one is he sends her out of the house. He puts her away. So all three components of a biblical divorce right here in this first verse. All right, so verse 2.
And she goes out of his house and goes and becomes another man's wife. And if the latter husband turns against her and writes her certificate of divorce and puts it in her hand and sends her out of his house, or if the latter husband dies who took her to be his wife, then the former husband who sent her away is not allowed to take her again to be his wife, since she has been defiled. For that is an abomination before Yah, and you shall not bring sin on the land which Yah your El gives you as an inheritance.
Right. Okay, so now she goes and not as a prostitute herself with another man. She doesn't adulterate herself with another man. She doesn't go to whoredoms with another man, right? She doesn't commit sexual immorality with another man. She goes and becomes after being free. He is not to take her back. Why? Why is he not to take her back? Because the text says that this will be a defilement of the land, and she will be a defilement unto him. All right, let me go back to the verse just to make sure that it says, "For that is an abomination before Yahweh, and shall not bring and you shall not bring sin on the land which Yahweh Elohim gives you as an inheritance." And it says, since she has been defiled. What makes a woman defiled? By legally, biblically being divorced, going and becoming a wife of another man, and that second marriage is severed based on biblical terms. She receives a divorce or the man dies. What makes her defiled to that first man? Because this is specifically to the first man. What makes her defiled to him?
Because the land has been polluted. So we can look at it on so many levels. We can look at it on so many levels. Like we can look at it on like a biological level, right? So you have a man that slept with a woman and has inserted his DNA in her, right? And so now, if she ever got pregnant, the stem cells from that child are forever in this woman. So this man lives rent-free in this woman para siempre, forever.
Right.
Now she goes to another man and becomes his wife. And now we got forward progression. And now, you know what I'm saying? Let's say the same thing happens. Let's say at some point she gets pregnant. The stem cells from that child are forever in her. To turn around and go back to allow this man to go back in her is defiled, like it's distorting the whole biological mixture of her psyche. Like there's so many levels to why this is not good.
Now that's a physiological, and you say psychological, but what's the spiritual problem with this?
She dirty.
This what's the spiritual? That kind of sounds like swinging. Yeah, swapping, right? But what's the spiritual? I was starting to pull the text up.
She's playing the harlot.
She's playing a harlot. I'm gonna show you, because we gotta look at this from a spiritual perspective in order to get the spiritual reason why this will be a problem to this man. Okay, Jeremiah 3. Let's go forward.
Yirmiyahu 3.
All right, read from verse 1, please, sir.
All right, I'm almost there. Hold on just a second. Yirmiyahu 3. You said starting at verse 1, Uno?
Yes.
It reads on the wise. The Most High says, if a husband divorces his wife and she goes from him and belongs to another man, will he still return to her? Will not that land be completely polluted? But you are a harlot with many lovers, yet you turn to me, declares Yahweh.
No, stop right there. He's giving two different examples here. He's like, in one instance, you got, if a woman goes and lawfully becomes the wife of another man who's been divorced, she's not to return. What make you think that you can go out there and play the harlot and come back?
The harlot.
a whole lot of them, and come back and you not be defiled, right? In other words, is what he's implying here. All right, verse 2.
Lift up your eyes to the bare heights and see where you have not been ravished. By the roads you have sat for them, like an Arab in the wilderness. And you have polluted a land with your harlotry and with your eval.
Right. So now, if we take this on further down, he talks about what ultimately happens to them as a result of doing this. Okay, verse 6.
Then Yah said to me, in the days of Yoshiyahu the Melech, the king, have you seen what faithless Israel did? She went up on every high hill and under every green tree, and she was a harlot there.
So Israel committed harlotry.
Harlotry. Right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. She did what Gomer did. Okay. Go ahead.
I said, after she has done all these things, she will return to me. But she did not return. Her treacherous sister, Yehuda, saw it.
So what happened? Israel, instead of her repenting, instead of her coming like the prodigal son, right, and saying that, I don't deserve to get the same spot that I had, let me go back and ask my father forgiveness because I sinned against him, right? Instead of her coming with that attitude, she didn't even return. She's like, hold on a second, I got some more fun I want to have out here, right, in these streets.
Streets.
I kind of like it out here, right?
What time is it in these streets? 3:04.
She said, I finally found a home away from home, right? And so she didn't want to return. That was her problem. She wanted to stay out there in those streets. And her treacherous sister Judah saw it. The unfaithful sister Judah saw it. So she saw what her older sister did, right? Judah saw what her older sister Israel did. Okay, go ahead. Verse 8.
And I saw that for all the adulteries of faithless Israel, I had sent her away and given her a certificate of divorce. Yet her treacherous Akoti Yehuda did not fear, but she went and was a harlot too. She was out past midnight or later. She was out at 3:04 in the morning.
3:04.
Right. So what Yah says that what he did was he divorced Israel. If you look back in history, right, in terms of what happened in the Tanakh, right, Israel was the first one to go into judgment. Israel was the first one to go into exile.
The Northern Kingdom.
They were right, the Northern Kingdom. They were taken into exile by the Assyrians, right? And when you look at the return, right, it wasn't Israel that returned from Babylon, right, or from the Persians or from the Greeks. It wasn't Israel that returned. It was Judah that returned, right? Israel was still scattered, right? That's why they're often denoted as the Jews. And you were like, well, what happened to the other tribes, right? You know, there were other tribes other than Judah, right? Yeah, there were 10 other tribes, right? Because Judah consisted of
Benjamin, Levi, and Yehuda.
Judah, and Levi. Exactly. The other tribes never. And so this is the reason why when we go to Jeremiah 31:31, there's a need for a renewed covenant. Right. And so once y'all gave the bill of divorce and they would have returned and they remained out there, right, in Israel in her harlotries, right, he couldn't take her back. There needed to be a renewed covenant. That renewed covenant is in Yeshua, right? It required a death. It required a renewed covenant in order to be able to bring her back, because she couldn't come back under the same terms. And this is spiritually what happens when a woman is given a bill of divorce and she goes and becomes the woman, committed, bonded, one flesh woman of another man. She's not to return back to that original man in Israel, right? There's another reason to that. Let's look at the other reason, and I believe it's in Deuteronomy 7. If it's not 7, it's 12. There we go. Read from verse 12, Deuteronomy 7, verse 22.
Got it. And Yah, your Eloah, will clear away these nations before you, little by little.
All right, these nations in Canaan land. Right, go ahead.
You will not be able to put an end to them quickly, lest the wild beasts become too numerous for you. But Yah, your Eloah, will give them over before you and will throw them into great confusion until they are destroyed. And he will give their kings into your hands, so that you will make their name perish from under the Shamayim of the heaven. No man will be able to stand before you until you have destroyed them. The graven images of their Elohim you are to burn with fire. You shall not covet the silver or the gold that is on them, Achan, nor take it for yourselves, lest you be snared by it, for it is an abomination to Yah your Eloah. You shall not bring an abomination into your house and become devoted to destruction like it. Achan.
Okay, so all of their images, all of their idolatrous paraphernalia is supposed to be destroyed, right? Okay, so 12, start from verse 1. This is chapter 12 of Deuteronomy, starting at verse 1. Okay.
All right, here we go. And it reads on this wise of Devarim. It says, these are the statutes and the judgments which you shall be careful to do in the land which Yah, your Eloah of your fathers, has given you to possess all the days you live on the earth. You shall utterly destroy all the places where the nations whom you shall dispossess serve their Elohim, on the high mountains, on the hills, and under every green tree. And you shall tear down their altars and shatter their sacred pillars and burn their Asherim with fire. And you shall cut the graven images of their gods in pieces and destroy their names from that place. You shall not do thus toward Yah, your El.
You should not do this. So what are you not supposed to do? You're not supposed to take their graven images and use them towards Yahweh your Elohim, right? Go down towards the end of this chapter and okay, go ahead. Right here, verse 29.
When Yah, your Elohim, cuts off before you the nations which you are going into dispossess, and you dispossess them and inhabit their land, beware lest you be ensnared to follow them after they are destroyed before you, and lest you inquire after their elves, saying, how do these nations serve their gods, that I may do likewise? You shall not do thus toward Yah, your Elohim, for every abominable act which Yah hates, they have done for their El. For they even burn their sons and daughters in the fire to their Elohim. Whatever I'm commanding you, you shall be careful to do. You shall not add or take away.
So the problem with Israel going and playing the harlot is what he states here in this command here in Torah, that when you go out into idolatry from out of your covenant and you go into idolatry, you're not supposed to take anything from out there and bring it back, or else it would be defiling. Yah's not going to take you taking paraphernalia from idolatrous nations and bringing it thus towards him, because then that would be defiling to him. It's the same context in Jeremiah 3. He starts off with the idea that this is the reason why a husband should not take back his woman, even if she becomes the lawful wife of another man. If he takes her back, it's going to be spiritually defiling to him, just as it was spiritually defiling for him to even think of taking Israel back, who would not return to him, even though he was willing to restore them, right? He had to create a renewed covenant in order to be able to take Israel back. And so it's the same thing when a man gives his woman a bill of divorce, he's found something indecent in her, when he sends her away, and once she becomes engaged with another man, right? Another Baal, another master, another Lord, right? For him to take her back is for him to be co-mingling whatever energy, whatever spirit, whatever influence that is seed, all of that's coming from the other man. So from a spiritual perspective, it would be defiling to him.
Right.
Just as it would have been defiling for Yah to take Israel back in this idolatrous state.
Right.
And the only way to come back is through death. That's the only way, right? So a woman can't die and come back to life, right? You know, unlike what Yeshua was able to do, right? But a woman can't do that. And so forgiveness has it. The limits would be if the person is repenting, if the person
bound
is
within the confines of a consequence.
Yes, and right, and a person has to show forth fruits of repentance, humility, like the prodigal son, in order to be taken back. That's the only way that it can happen. But if a woman goes out and becomes the wife of another man, she's already bound herself to that man's leadership, to that man's direction, to that man's vision. For her to be able to come back in would be confusion and defilement in that man's home spiritually. And this is the reason why Yah says that this is not to take place here in Deuteronomy 24.
Right. And with the inside hurt.
And the inside hurt, because now you're knowing that, you know, imagine if his woman was a virgin when he took her, and then he divorced her, and she left and became the wife of another man, and she came, and for him to take her back, it would affect him inwardly. It would affect him inwardly. Sister D, you wanted to say something to this? Add something to this? Anything?
No, I am listening, and I hear the distinction between harlotry and a woman committing, getting married, being,
Right.
So there's a difference there that in terms of the limitations of what the man is allowed to, how merciful, I guess. It's not mercy. He's not allowed to take her back. That's all there is
Right.
to it.
Right. I know we're gonna automatically. We're definitely gonna have to continue this. There's no way in the world we're gonna be able to finish because we got slides. So there's no way we can be able to. We got some video clips.
Right.
We're not gonna be able to finish this. We definitely gonna have. But I want to get to this answer here. Is that Hosea was not commanded to be weak. He was not commanded to be a simp, but to reveal Yah's redemptive nature through obedience, not emotional captivity. And there's a difference between the two.
Right.
Sometimes men will forgive out of emotional captivity a woman who's not truly repentant. Right? Who's not truly repentant. And that was the thing. Like, Yah wasn't gonna forgive Israel, who wasn't willing to return back to the same humble state. He wasn't about to do that. Hosea 1:2 is the passage. Hosea 1:2.
Hosea
1:2. Could you read that? But 1:2.
Hosea 1:2 states, on this wise, when Yah first spoke through Hosea, Yah said to Hosea, go, take for yourself a wife of harlotry and have children of harlotry, for the land commits fragrant harlotry, forsaking Yah.
Think about this. In Israel, went in their idolatry, they actually produced children and raised children, not as he commanded in Deuteronomy 6, right? They raised children in their idolatry. They brought forth children, right? Think about it. You have men who took on strange wives, right? You had daughters in Israel, took on strange men, right? They began to intermarry with these pagans, and as a result, they produced children likely like Ahaz and what's the other, Jezebel, right? Ahab and Jezebel. Isabel, right?
Like when you look it up, when you look up Jezebel, it's actually Isabel.
Right. So he says when Yahweh first spoke through Hosea, Yahweh said to Hosea, go take for yourself a wife of harlotry and have children of harlotry, for the land commits flagrant harlotry, forsaking Yahweh. And so, not only did he have children of this woman, he also took on the children, which we're going to have to get into this the next time. He took on children, right, that this woman produced in her harlotry.
Yep.
Let's read a little bit. Verse 3.
No.
Gonna read that?
Yeah. Verse number 3 says, so he went and took Gomer, the daughter of Diblaim, and she conceived and gave birth to a son for him.
Okay, go ahead.
And Yah said to him, name him Jezreel, for yet a little while, and I will visit the bloodshed of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and I will cause the kingdom of the house of Israel to cease.
Go ahead.
And it will be in that day that I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Israel.
Okay,
then
go
she
ahead.
conceived again and gave birth to a daughter. And Yah said to him, name her Lo Rumah, for I will no longer have compassion on the house of Israel, that I would have ever forgive them. But I will have compassion on the house of Yehuda and save them by Yah their El, and I will not save them by bow, sword, battle, horses, or horsemen.
Right.
Then she weaned Lo Rumah, and she conceived and gave birth to a son. So Lo Rumah means like no forgiveness.
No forgiveness. Exactly.
I want to point
Right.
that lo. You see, lo means no.
No. Right.
And Yah said, name him Lo Ami, for you are not my people, and I am not your El. So Ami means people. So Lo Ami means no people or not my people.
Not my people. They're not my people. Right. So chapter 3, that's the next chapter over.
Wow.
Two chapters over. 3.
Mm-hmm.
So here, go ahead. Read. We read this earlier, but I think it bears repeating for this.
Yeah. Then Yah said to me, go again, love a woman who is loved by her companion and is an adulteress, even as Yah loves the sons of Israel, though they turn to other gods and love raisin cakes. Ain't
Right,
gonna be
and
no
love
raisin
raisin.
cakes in the kingdom.
Ain't no raisin cakes and ain't no raisin. Ain't no
raisin cakes in the kingdom.
Right.
So I bargained for her, for myself, for 15 shekels of silver and an omer and a half of barley.
Right, exactly. So
that's
now,
half the price of Mashiach.
Right. So now, remember the names of the children: Ami and Ruhamah. Right.
Lo Ami,
Ami,
Lo
and Lo Ruhamah. Right. Right. But in this chapter, this is how it says to them: say to your brothers. Right. Go ahead. Verse 1.
Say to your brothers, Ami, and to your sisters, Ruma. Contend with your mother. Contend, for she is not my wife, and I am not her ish. And let her remove her harlotry from her face, and her adultery from between her breasts, lest I strip her naked and set her forth as the day when she was born, and make her like a wilderness, and make her like a dry land, and put her to death with thirst.
Go ahead,
also, I will have no compassion on her children, because they are children of harlotry.
They are children of harlotry. So in other words, the first child that he had,
we don't know who their baby papa is.
Right.
Who the baby's papa?
They didn't have DNA kits. They didn't have DNA kits back there. So, but he says the prophet in Israel is saying that these are children of harlotry. He's not saying they're his children. He's saying they are children of harlotry. Right? For their mother, go ahead.
For their mother has played the harlot. She who conceived them has acted shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers, who give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, my oil and my drink. Okay.
Right, we can stop right there. 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 So the moral of this, or the point of this, right? The gist of this is that there's a great chance that out of these 3 children, the last 2 are not Hosea's. Yet he's still commanded to even go back to this woman and even purchase her, just to take her back in. Right? He's commanded to do this, right? And so there's something to be said. Yah is commanding him to take on another man's child or other men's children. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, earlier you asked about a simp. And when this came up, I was like, nah, because he was following the command of his father.
He was following the command. Right. Yes.
Versus chasing behind a woman because of his emotion. 2 different things. So you look at the action, but you're not looking at the intent behind the action. His father commanded him, right? His father commanded him, and thus, when he did, he's being obedient. When his emotions are commanding him, he's being a simp. So Hosea was not a simp because he was an amazing son who did what most would not do.
Right. and he was following the commands. He was following the commands of Yah. So there's something could be said about in terms of what he was commanded to do,
and what his name means, and how it all plays into it. Salvation is chasing you,
right?
And you're rejecting it.
And so could this be the very reason as to why Yeshua says from the beginning this wasn't the case, because men from the beginning understood that it was the husband's job to save their woman, even if they fell astray, even if they went astray. But because of the hardness of your hearts, Moses gave you this bill of divorce as a decree, as a certificate, and to sin and put your wife away to divorce her. Right, so we're gonna definitely get deeper into this.
Wow, this is a hot topic.
More questions to ask about this one, but I just want to leave you with this, guys. Like Hosea was actually commanded to take back children that came from men who paid to have sexual relations with his woman, and he fathered those children. He took them in. He took them in. And so, Yah commanded him to do this. But many men today in the Torah community, in the kingdom, right? The idea of being a stepfather, much less to take back a woman who went out there and became a 3 or 4 who you married, right? It's a hard pill. It's a hard pill. And it's interpreted and it's often understood as being a simp. A simp would do that. And so it brings us in a stretch here. Like we're stretching our positions, our views. It's now being stretched when we look at it like this. And when we think of these questions, was Hosea a simp? Was he a simp for taking on another man's children? Was he a simp for bringing this woman and her children of harlotry into his home? Was he a simp, or was he a patriarch? I love you guys.
Consequences.
Consequences. Follow Yah, not a simp. If you don't follow Yah, you are a simp. Amen. 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 So we're gonna pick up on this when we come back the next time. So with that being said, at this point, I want to ask this question. Let me see. Hold on a second. I'm like all over the place today. Here we go. So what are we saying here? What are we saying here? You guys in the chat, what are we saying? I said, we got almost 200 comments that I see going on. I know there was more than that. Right?
Yeah, there's lots.
He said, I don't think but he received clear direction. Right. Yeah, and here's a question, brother, showing up, an exception, but not the rule. No, but Yeshua said from the beginning this was not so. Even the idea of divorce. Because men didn't suffer with the hardness of heart. So was that an exception in the beginning? Right? I do think being a simp or not depends if you're listening to Yah or not. He wasn't, but don't use Hosea as an excuse to be a simp. Of course. Here's the question. Is forgiveness and restoration, and even full restoration, you guys know what we mean when we say full restoration. Does that mean that a man is a simp? He wasn't a simp, but
every man has to give an account for his own house.
For his own house. Exactly. Hosea was an exception, though. Yes, he was an exception, but he also was a learning example. He was an illustration for every one of us to show us the Father's love. And we are to be imitators of the Most High.
Check it out, right? Because he showed us what salvation looks like.
Looks like.
Hear what I'm saying. When he sent a man named salvation after a people who was constantly running away from him, participating in these acts. And notice what he didn't bring was an accusation against him. He didn't bring her and say, hey, well, I've caught her in the act, let's kill her.
Wow.
Right.
Goodness.
He wasn't quick to give her a bill of divorce.
Wow.
Right.
Mm.
He said, I do not say to you 7 times, but 70 times 7. I mean,
Yeah.
brothers are getting it. Brothers are getting it. Brothers are getting it. Listen. Torah gives us room, the authority to execute justice and judgment, right? It's the law, right?
Tonto said the Bible got baby mama drama.
And that is the law. That is, and that is the law. I want to read what they says. Let me make my point. Then I want to read what he says. That is the law. That is the command. The commandment, right? Of eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. The whole gist of it is, you kill someone, you got to be killed, right? You steal, what you have is gonna be taken from you, right? That's the gist of it, right?
Right.
But there's a higher law than eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, and that higher law is forgiveness.
But this is a hard example because this
It's
illustration.
forgiveness.
It's the highest
example. And this is the depths. Like, your woman just went out there, she turned tricks.
Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids.
Oh my.
She turned tricks. So when you start, Yah is showing, this is my standard of forgiveness.
Wow, that's a hard
Trick love the kids.
Wow.
This is my standard of forgiveness, is not what I'm telling you to do, is what I'm demonstrating, what I'm going to do, what I do all the time when I take you 304s back.
Wow.
Because every time we sin, we're committing idolatry. And for him to take us back, he is demonstrating over and over and over again that Gomer was only showing us an example of what y'all always do.
Okay.
So the word commands that we be holy as he is holy. The word commands that we be imitators. The word commands that we walk in the light as he is the light. Nothing less, right? The same way, the same manner. That's what the word commands.
Yeah.
This is a doctrine of perfection. It's a doctrine of perfection. You want to be perfect? He says you have to love like your heavenly Father loves. Even your enemy. So when your woman becomes your enemy, do you love her? Or you discard her?
Keep in mind something that you said earlier as well, right? You explained the position of the return, right? Like with this person, it's not about, because I saw it show enough from what he put up on the screen. What was put up on the screen?
Yeah, I didn't see it. I wanted to read that because I was in the middle of my thought. Hard to digest, but I do not reject y'all's word. I will have to contemplate this one because simpness has led to so much disorder. Yes, it has.
Right. And so
has how would you say an exaggerated example of patriarchy?
That's where I was going. Yep. So you got mamas out here saying, no, take her back, because you got mamas telling their sons, take her back, raise the child, because that's what she did when she's able to relate to the girl that messed up, that sinned. But if the girl isn't repentant, if the woman isn't repentant, so there's an aspect of not being a simp by allowing the return if she's returning in a sense of humility.
Yes.
It's not about demanding my position, my spot. It's about, listen, I will sleep on the couch. I will sleep on the floor. Just forgive me. Don't put me away.
I mean, that's Isaiah 4:1. Like Isaiah 4:1 is when you have the daughters of Zion literally saying, like, listen, just give us your name. Like, you don't even have to provide for us. Just give us your name to take this reproach from us, right? Just give us your name. That's humility. Yeah, we know we've been haughty. We know we've been pride and stiff-necked, and we know we've been out here not acting right, mincing and, all kinds of things and whatnot, being rebellious, but just give us your name. You don't even have to do A to Z. Just give us your name, right? That's humility.
Because salvation comes through
humility. Yes, you need humility. You need humility to get in. Sis, what you reflecting on?
Well, even in that one, how Yah stripped them of all these things as well. They came back naked. They came back without all the bling bling and all the attitude.
Like the prodigal son.
Yeah. So the adulterous wife is not like she's coming back the same way and say, "Take me anyway." It's
right.
Not the same.
Yeah, it's like, listen, I'm pregnant. I ain't got nowhere to go. I got this baby. I know I did wrong. Like when she come back with the right attitude, right? Should you be like Yah? Or should you be like the Pharisees that approach Yeshua and says, for any and every reason, cut her off?
Oh, Father. What
brothers ain't gonna like me no more. I know y'all gonna unfriend, unsubscribe.
Wow.
I love you guys, man. I love you guys. Listen, I want you to be like Messiah. That's the only reason why I want you to be like Messiah. I want you to grab his heart. I want you to be like him. Because that's the only thing that's going to cause you to make it in. Not some overly charged, exaggerated patriarchy, and not some no standard having simp. But be like the Messiah. Yeah. So, for you who are watching the playback, we say extend this to you. What do you say? Do you agree that Hosea was a simp or a patriarch? If a man takes back a woman who has been out there, cheating, dogging him out, coming back with another man's baby, if he forgives her, is he necessarily acting like a simp? Or is he acting like a patriarch, or is he acting like the Most High? Share your thoughts. I'm eager to hear. We're eager to hear in the comment section. So I guess that hits it for today. Announcements, Sister D, for next week. You mentioned it earlier.
Oh, we are thinking, so it's tentative, but I think we're going to do a matriarch
Monday. Let's go for it.
How a daughter's training prepares her to be a wife, and how it's a question. How does a daughter's training prepare her to be a wife? How the daughter's
training prepares her for being a wife, which is important because a lot of women want to be wives, but the question is, have you been trained for that? Right. And so I think it's good. That'll be a good dig. That'll be a very good dig for the sisters. And so if you like this stream today, you got some value out of it, do like and subscribe. If you never subscribed to your channel, this is your first time here, or you just never subscribed. You may have been stopped through a few times, but you just never subscribed. Definitely, we ask that you subscribe so that you can get more notifications for the updates. And also know that, it's been hard for us to get content to be pushed and notified to our subscribers because of YouTube, something that they've been doing recently. So definitely, that's my email address at the bottom of the screen. You can email me. That way I can put you on the email list. And so whenever we put up new content or we have new reminders to get out there to the subscribers, we can send you an email. So that you can be in the loop. All right. And so if you'd like to contact Sister Deborah, this is her channel, or you want to go over and check out her content on her channel, which we highly suggest, especially for the sisters. Call for Wisdom are the call letters of her channel. Brother Jeremy wasn't able to make it on tonight. He had other commitments. This is his channel, the Word of the Sword Ministries. And then we have Brother Noah's Tree of the Field. Go on over and check these guys' channels out. Subscribe, share. And then Brother Tony as well. He's in class tonight. And so this is the call. These are the call letters of his channel. And the man to the upper right, the intelligent one, the wise one. Ak Yahuel, and this is the way that you can contact him. This is his email address down here at the bottom.
Sir.
Yes. So I had fun here tonight, and I pray that all of you, if you like this discussion here tonight, give us a thumbs up. If you hate me, give a thumbs up. You know, let's stimulate the algorithm.
Yeah. I'm going to put a thumbs up here, but we go ahead and do that. And thank you for everybody for commenting. This also stimulates, and for sharing. Thank you so much. Yeah,
exactly. And that's a very solid point. Is put up there is that Patriarch is not about multiple women. It's about a home with a firm foundation built on Torah. Because, I mean, when you think about it, Uriah was a patriarch. He was more of a patriarch than the king David was in Israel. He was more of a king in the moment, right, on the battlefield. And even when he was told to come back, and even when he was told to go onto the front lines, he was more of a patriarch than the king. Right, his heart was with the men. His heart was with the mission of the nation,
and his body,
Right. We can go into his woman, right? Because his heart was out there on a battlefield, right? So he clearly was a patriarch, but he only had one wife. According to the text, he only had one wife. And so, no, being a patriarch does not require a man to have more than one wife. Being a polygynist does not make one a patriarch, right? Like I know men who are polygynists who no stretch of the means are patriarchs. The women rule their household, right? So having more than one woman doesn't necessarily make you a patriarch. Patriarch means that you are commanding your house just as Abraham did, right? You are commanding your household. Yeah.
You have a fan brother here.
He said, I love Uriah. He's my man. My name is the gaming world.
So everybody,
he was considered a mighty man. All right.
Yes.
He was considered a mighty man. But we see a very important picture with Uriah. When Uriah was among the men of Yehuda fighting in battle, the Ruach of the Most High was with him and protected and shielded him too. Because remember, he was a Hittite. But when David called for the men to fall back, the Ruach went with the men, because that was the word of Yah that he spoke on Israel. So he had a duty, in essence, to protect the sons of Israel. When this Hittite is out alone, it changes the game, because it's a picture of being amongst them, not being separated from them.
Right. Where the protection is.
Right.
Where the protection is.
So it's a deep story.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to go in it later. There's one more question, but I guess it's another one here.
Was Bathsheba a bad wife?
That's a deep question. That's
a deep question.
Yeah, because she started. But here's the thing:
bad wife to who?
Yeah, and to Uriah, because she didn't tell him what happened, right? She concealed it as well, and she suffered as well because they lost the baby. She and David lost the baby. They lost their baby, right? So, she paid a price also, right?
She didn't scream like Tamar.
She didn't scream, right?
Right. I don't think that she was on the rooftop flirting and all that jazz. She was taking a bath. And if
Right.
David wasn't, if he was where he was supposed to be,
He
it wouldn't have happened.
You wouldn't have
So
saw her. Right.
I'm not gonna put that on her.
Yeah.
Simultaneously, like it don't even have to be the king. Many men fall for less. Many men fall for less. So, you know, to put her in a position where like, well, she should have spoke up, and we're talking about the king. We're not talking about some average, you know, you get the Sultan of Arab Eritrea, or you know what, Aramites, or however you say it, Emirates. That's what I'm trying to say. Emirates. You get the prince to petition your wife. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the result will be. You know what I'm saying? Like this man is like a billionaire. So I'm not going to speak on the situation. I think the Most High judged the situation. And what we saw come from that in the end was that the Most High gave her a son. He could have closed her womb and shut it off, but he didn't. He gave her a son. And this son is known as the wisest man that ever lived, aside from Mashiach.
Right. That was the king in Israel.
She wasn't a bad wife to David. We'll say it like that.
Yeah, she wasn't a bad wife to David. Yeah.
Her second go round was better than her first.
Exactly. She learned. She learned from her mistake.
She learned that day.
But can you also see in the mercy the fact that she was a wife anyway?
Yeah.
I didn't really catch it.
The mere fact that Bathsheba was still able to be a wife after all that happened, right?
Yeah.
Then y'all didn't.
Brothers today would have been like, "You see how easy that was? No, she can't be no wife to me.
Right.
If I slid into that easy, imagine the next guy.
Yeah, she easy. Right. She easy. Right. Yeah, she's easy.
Well, thank you, brothers, for this. That was really, for sitting here and listening to this intense conversation and the study. Looking forward to this parts.
To y'all be the glory. Yeah, y'all be the glory. I have fun with this. Definitely. So did we get any more comments coming in? What was the responses from the video?
1,000 comments that just came in.
You will not finish tonight if we keep on going with the comments.
So no, Sarah wasn't even young and was still beautiful. She probably looked like Felicia Rashad.
There's a lot of comments, but we're just gonna say,
Yeah. Okay, that's good. It's good. We don't want to be stuck.
You better stop thinking about Felicia. She mine, bro.
All right.
Oh man. All right, so Aku, you close us out with a word of prayer, please.
Sure. Abba Yah, we come before you right now and we say Todah Rabbah for your grace and your mercy, for your love and kindness, for your mercy that you pour out on us day after day. May we find our way back to you, petitioning you as humble servants, not demanding anything of you, recognizing that our righteousness is like filthy rags. May we come before you humbly, all those that are called by your name. We ask, Abba Yah, that you protect your people, your sons and your daughters that are both in the chat and those that are scattered in the diaspora. May your hand rest upon all your children and protect them. We ask that your hand rest upon all those that are carrying children. And we ask, Abba Yah, that those that desire to carry children, it doesn't matter if the age, but all the women, all the daughters that belong to you, if there's a desire in them to carry children, that you hear their petition, that you hear their heart. And if it is in agreement with the Ish, we ask, Abba Yah, that you honor their request. so that they can serve you and produce in righteousness in the earth. We ask that your hand rest upon your people as they travel to and fro, those that are suffering from the effects of the hurricane, and those that are suffering from the effects of this government shutdown. We ask that your hand rest upon all those that have lost loved ones, that you bring shalom to the home. And we ask that the brothers not lust after Felicia Rashad. We ask all these things in Hashem Yah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh, you're funny.
Oh man, I love it. I love it, man. I love it.
She
I love it.
she is a beautiful mother to us all.
Yes,
Mrs.
yes,
Huxtable.
yes.
Look, Mrs. Huxtable.
Mrs. Huxtable. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay. Oh man, this was a good one. This is a good one. I had fun. So, family. All right. We are now even how would you say officially in Veterans Day. So I want to salute to all of my fellow vets, Yahuel and myself, veterans.
Yes.
Today's Veterans Day. Go out there and get your specials, get your free meals. You know, there's restaurants that's giving out meals. Take your family out, enjoy yourself today.
Look,
you know,
they might not be giving them out with the government shutdown.
And now that ain't giving out much, right?
They might be like, no food here. Thank you for your service, though.
Yeah, really. I hope
thank you.
Oh, no. But listen, brothers, so much, and all the people in the chat. I just saw Brother Jeremy sneak in. Is that Brother Jeremy?
Yeah. Hallelujah. He's laughing.
Wonderful.
Amen. All right, so family, for King of Kingdom, we bid you shalom. Good night. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your family. Until the next time, we see you. Y'all willing next week. Second day, Monday. Matriarchy Monday. We got a new topic. Blessings. Love you all.
Bye-bye.